Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, as we are here for the conclusion of the 2022 Route 66 Sprint Series from the Autobahn Country Club in Joliet, Illinois. We're happy to have you with us here for the coverage on Kart Chaser, or if you're live here at the track. My name is Taylor Burris. Alongside me is Emery Lida, as we are getting ready for the first of our final events. 14 laps for your 206 Sportsman Division, and it's going to be an exciting one to see here today. The 206 Sportsman Division, of course, brought to you by PerkinsAllStar.com. Make sure to go visit them today for more information. Emery, an exciting class of drivers here for today's action, and of course, the championship on the line for your 206 Sportsman.
Yeah, this is going to be one of the closest championship battles we're going to see this entire day. You've got really two guys in contention for the championship between Brady Schott, who enters this race now provisionally with a 5-point advantage. He won pole, he won the pre-final, and he's starting alongside his main rival, Landon Buer. As we're looking for the green, we're not going to get it. We'll have to go around another time. But those two, whoever wins this race between the two of them is likely to be the champion. We'll have to go through the rest of the order because there's still a lot of fast karts around them.
With that, let's go through your starting lineup for the finals today in the Briggs 206 Sportsman Division, presented by Perkin All-Star. Brady Schad will be your pole sitter with Landon Buer in second. Ezekiel Haight will be in the third position, followed by Braden Dimont in the fourth position. Fifth is A.J. Stoner, followed by Caleb Johnson in sixth position. Seventh is Slayton Baldock, followed by Ryan Mort in eighth position. Christopher Utzi will be in ninth position, with Isaiah Maxey rounding out your top 10.
Yeah, I'm looking down the rest of the grid. You got Evan Benoit in 11th, Kason Hendrickson in 12th, Cameron Johnson 13th, Max Cross 14th, Thomas Anthony, Ethan Loyo, Giovanni Vasquez, Tori Daniels rounding out the fields. We get set to go for Briggs 206 Sportsman.
Green flag is out as we're underway here for your 206 Sportsman Division as they make it down into turn number 1. Brady Schad going to make over the race lead as they climb up the hill to turn number 3. 14 laps here around the 9/10 of a mile circuit as we see Landon Buer just slides it in there for P2 as they head down the hill over to turn 3 and 4.
Already seeing some nice action there. Landon Buer briefly lost second place, but he got it back now. He's all over trying to get up to Brady Schott. He's about 2 car lengths back. Still going to have to make something happen here. Ezekiel Haight is in third position. We saw in the pre-final him being extremely patient with both Brady Schott and Landon Buer. We'll see what he can do this time as he's already losing a little bit of ground to Buer. And behind him, looks like the 09 of Braden DeMont is right on his tail with A.J. Stoner close behind. We saw in the pre-final Stoner struggling a little bit for pace here in the Briggs 206 Sportsman. We'll see what he can do with that 420 machine. Is now coming through the skid pad section. It is Brady Schott with a close lead over Landon Buer. He's brought Ezekiel Haight as well as Braden DeMont along with him. As they come to the end of lap 1, it looks like it is a 4-cart train up at the front of this Briggs 206 Sportsman class led by Brady Schott.
And as they cross the line, Brady Schad will now move up and hold on to the race lead. He has about a 700-second lead over Landon Buer as they work their way through turn 3 and 4, heading down the hill. Currently, right now, Ryan Mort has picked up 2 spots. He's moved up to the 6th position as we look to the field. Evan Benoit picking up a spot into the top 10 for him. Ethan Leroy picking up 2 spots as well, moving into 14th, with Giovanni moving up to 16th, and Tori Daniels moving up to 17th. One car did not start. That, of course, is going to be Thomas Anthony, who will not start this race. He will finish 18th. As the field continues to work their way around the circuit, we watch on. Brady Schad leads the charge under heavy pressure from Landon Buer, as we saw Ezekiel Haight moving up a spot and trying to see if he can work his way around Landon Buer.
Yeah, already seeing Haight being a little bit aggressive here compared to earlier. As you can see, one car out on the side of the track, which is currently trying to get a number on that. That looks to be one of the carts from the mid-pack on back. But right now, the top 3 of Haight, Schad, and Buer are pulling away from Braden DeMont. We saw this yesterday. We saw all of them working together well. Now in the final here is Brady Schott through 2 laps, a 59.2 for him. He's got a comfortable lead now with Landon Buer right on his tail. Ezekiel Haight went purple that last time through. Those front 3 are continuing to work together, although now Landon Buer looks to have lost a little bit of time in the turns 5 and 6 complex to Brady Schott, but now he's right back on it, and that's allowed Braden DeMont to get back into that lead group, and now it's still 4 carts with A.J. Stoner not too far behind.
Braden DeMont, we saw him come home with a top 5 finish yesterday in yesterday's action, looking to see if he can get on to the podium here today as he gets the push he needs as he tries to work with Ezekiel Haight for that 3rd position as they work into turn 11. Heading down towards turn 12 and 13, Brady Schad now definitely showcasing the talent that he has here today to work his way out of turn number 14 down the front straightaway. But Landon Buer and Ezekiel Haight, they're going to work together as they crumb across the line. They're going to stay tucked up behind Brady as they head down down into turn 1. A big send down for Brady Shad as he holds on to the race lead as they climb the hill up to turn 3.
You have to wonder if at this point it's going to come down to the wire here with Brady Shad and Landon Beer. They're still 1 and 2. Again, these two are your championship leaders, and they're joined by Ezekiel Haight and Braden DeMont, as well as AJ Stoner, who's not too far away from this battle, running personal best lap times. So the top 4 are all right there together. We have not seen a pass from Buer yet, but he is right on the tail of Brady Shad. As they come through turn 9, it looks like he's going to continue to be patient, but for how much longer? You have to wonder if he's patient, will he get passed by Ezekiel Haight? Haight has been very patient over the course of this weekend, along with Braden DeMont. But if push comes to shove, you might see those two start to make moves. But as we come through the skid pad section, you can see Shad and Landon Buer making a little bit of a gap between them and the next two in line as they come down to complete lap number 4 here. And now we see finally Landon Buer making a move for the race lead at the start of lap number 5. He's got the move coming into turn 1. Will Shad stay behind him? It looks to be that way so far as they come now. Buer goes defensive into turn 3, and he will lead the final for the first time today.
As we saw that beautiful pass by Landon Buer, he will now lead the charge out of turn number 4 and 5. Brady Shad gave a little bit of a tap of the helmet there to Ezekiel Haight, saying, hey, let's work together, get back up to the front of the field as they work their way through the chicane of turn number 8, trying to see what they can do into turn number 9. No one really making any moves at this moment, just trying to set themselves up for a run here. 10 laps to go for your leaders as they work down over toward the short chute of turn 11. Great drive. Brady Shad shows the nose to the inside, thinks better of it, tries to set himself up as they come through turn 12 and 13.
Yeah, we'll have to see how patient Shad will be. We've seen it kind of both ways this season. He has worked together well in the Sprint Show 6 class, but at times maybe he's been a little bit impatient in the Swift category. But here he is working really nicely with Landon Buer as they click off another lap. Buer, his first lap led of this race as he goes wide into turn 1. Have to wonder maybe Shad will try and move into 3. He stays behind him, and now all 4 of those carts are right there together. AJ Stoner had a little bit of a rough lap last time by, lost even more time to those front 4. So it is firmly a 4-cart pack for the race lead. As now Ezekiel Haight coming through turn 6, through the sweeping corner, gets himself up into second place. He gets by Brady Shad. That puts a little bit of space between Shad and Buer. And now as they come into turn 9, Shad content to stay in third at the moment. But Ezekiel Haight, finally a move of aggressiveness for him in this race as he finds himself in second and might be looking for the lead pretty soon here.
Ezekiel Haight, of course, was one of those fast drivers, set a new personal best for him last time by a 58.628. He was about 0.2 of a second faster than Landon Buer and 0.3 faster than Brady Shad last time around as they come through turn 13 and 14. Let's see what Ezekiel can do out of 14. He's going to show the nose, gets to the outside, stay tucked up as they come across the line. Single file right now, and of course for Brady DeMont, he's fallen off the pace a little bit right there. He's fallen back about 0.4 of a second behind your top 3. AJ Stoner, 1.5 seconds back from the battle for your top 3 as well as they head down the hill over through turn 4 and 5 as they work their way through. Still some great racing action amongst your top 3 as Ezekiel Haight looks around to the outside, thinks better of it, thinks now ducking back in line as they come to the chicane of turn 7 and 8. Working up to the top of turn number 9, they'll make their way down and working down the short chute to turn 10 as they make the way to that wide sweeping corner. No pressure whatsoever for Landon Buer in his beautiful number 120 machine. The Nitro kart as he works his way over through, of course, turn 12 and 13. No pressure, about a kart length separates himself from Ezekiel Haight.
Yeah, coming on to complete lap number 7 here. They're going to be halfway this time through. Landon Buer aboard the MPG Motorsports number 120 kart continues to lead here. As of right now, he is in championship winning position at the moment. So Buer leads the race. Now Ezekiel Haight goes a little bit wide. Brady Shad going to go down the inside into second. Gets the move done coming through turn 3. Move Shad back up into second position. And now he's only 1 spot away from potentially getting a championship here. As they come up through the hill up towards turn 6, it continues to be Buer from Shad, from Ezekiel Haight, from Braden DeMont. Those top 4 all running fast with Braden DeMont going purple that last time through.
Of course, Landon Buer and that MPG machine is definitely showing the pace that he has been showing all weekend long, just not yet able to capitalize on it here as they work their way out of turn number 10, working down the short chute. Here's a little bit of a nose shown there for Ezekiel Haight and Brady Shad as they work their way through turn 11 and 12, approaching over towards turn 13, coming to 6 laps to go. Down out of 13, they'll come to the sweeping corner of turn number 14. Let's see if anyone's going to show the nose this time as they come down the front straightaway. Nope, not just yet, but we do do see one driver. That is going to be Ezekiel Haight tapping the helmet a little bit, telling Braden, hey, come on, catch up to me. Let's try to pass these top two and go for it as they climb the hill up to turn number 3. Not going to work this time. Now we see Haight show the nose to the outside. Thinks better of it as they come through turn 4 and 5. As Ezekiel Haight and Brady Shad will try to see what they can do around Landon Buer out of turns 5 and 6. They'll head down to 7 and 8, and it's still 4 cars right there nose to tail.
This is shaping up to be a very close race here between all 4 of the top 4. Obviously, you have the championship connotation here between Landon Buer and Brady Shad, but additionally, Ezekiel Haight and Braden DeMont have a lot to race for, a lot of personal pride in between it. You've seen Braden DeMont go purple on multiple occasions in this race. We've seen Haight be aggressive to briefly get himself up into second place, and now they're trying to stick on to those front 2. All 4 of them have clearly had the pace compared to the rest of the field. They pulled 2.5 seconds on A.J. Stoner's all by himself there in 5th position. And then you've got another group of cars behind them with Chris Yautzi, Ryan Mort, and Isaiah Maxey. Maxey's been on a really fast lap so far in this race, but the top 8 really have been in a league of their own, but especially the top 4 now as Buer and Shad. And it looks like we got a battle coming out of turn 4, and it's going to be Brady Shad looking to get himself into the lead coming through turn 6. Haight follows through. Now Braden DeMont follows through, and now Landon Buer is able to get himself back into 3rd, but 2 and 1 there for Brady Shad and Ezekiel Haight as they move themselves up into the top 2 positions with only about 4.5 laps to go here in this race.
What great driving you're seeing here live on Kart Chaser as they work their way down, and we see Brady Shad holding strong over Ezekiel Haight as they head down into turn 11 and 12. Watching the action here, a little bit of separation. How about Braden DeMont also putting the pressure on Landon Buer as they come out of turn 13. They're going to now come out of 14 down the front straightaway. Let's see who's going to come out on top. Will anyone show the nose this time around as they come across the line? Nope. Single file action as they dive it down into turn 1. 4 laps to go for Brady Shad, Ezekiel Haight, Landon Buer, Braden DeMont, and A.J. Stoner, your top 5.
As we see that, Landon Buer goes for a pass to the inside into turn 3. It did not work out. Maybe a little bit overzealous there from him. That's going to bring him under fire from Braden DeMont, but he's able to stay in 3rd for the moment. Now looking to peek to the inside of Ezekiel Haight. That looks to be coming through turn 7 into 8 and into 9. Move Landon Buer back into 2nd, and now he has 1 card in front of him, and that is the most important card for him. That is Brady Shad is now coming on to the skid pad section. They've got less than 4 laps of racing to go. Now, Buer's going to have a little bit of a gap to catch up to if he wants to get to Brady Shad. He's got about 3, 4, maybe 5 kart lengths between him and Shad and the lead of this race. But he's got Ezekiel Haight working with him. We'll see how much they're willing to work together. You can see them starting to pull a little bit of a gap to Braden DeMont in 4th position as now we come to click off another lap in this final. 2.5 tenths is the gap between Buer and Shad, and you can already see that gap getting closed as they come through turn 1. Less than 3 laps to go. It is about to kick off here in Briggs 206 Sportsman presented by Perkins All-Star.
It certainly is there, Emery, as we watch on coming out of turn 4 and 5. Brady Shad still holds on. Buer in 2nd. We see Ezekiel Haight now as your top 3 are trying to pull away from Braden DeMont as they work their way out of turn 7 and 8. Over to the hairpin of turn number 9 now. Brady Shad has a little bit of breathing room now as he has about 2 kart lengths over Landon Buer for that first spot as they work down the short chute over towards turn 11. Great racing action here at the Autobahn Country Club as they work their way through. This morning we saw a little bit of cloudy conditions, but now the sun is out. The sun is shining, warmer conditions. It's a great day for racing here at the Autobahn Country Club as we're now getting the signal. 2 laps to go here at the Autobahn, and Brady Shad will be a defensive driver. Contact is made as they head down into turn 1. Landon Buer has to back off a little bit. This could open the door in with Ezekiel Haight as they continue on that pressure down the hill heading into turn 4.
This is critical now. Less than 2 laps to go in this championship for Briggs 206 Sportsman. Both of your championship leaders have a chance here at the win of this race and the championship now. Brady Shad has the track position. He was defensive into turn 1, defensive into turn 3. Now he's defensive into turn 9. Stays in front of Landon Buer now as they come onto exit. It is 4 karts under a blanket here. And now as they come through onto the skid pad section through to turn 11. Shad continuing to go defensive. He is parking the bus every which way he can. And as they come through the skid pad a little bit wide there from Buer. Oh, contact between Haight and DeMont. And that will make it a 2-kart race at the front. So the 3rd and 4th place karts have gotten together. And now 1 lap to decide the championship, to decide this race. It is Brady Shad and Landon Buer going to be doing it coming to the white flag.
White flag in the air, and there you see Brady Shad go defensive to the inside as they come through turn number 1. Landon Buer has one more attempt to try to go for the win and possibly the championship as they work down through turn 3 and 4. And we see a little bit of separation between your top two. Out of turn 4 and 5, it's about 3 kart lengths separating between Shad and Buer as they make the run down over towards turn 6 and 7. Out of turn 6, it's still Shad ahead of Buer. Through the chicane, they'll go into the braking zone of turn number 9. And Shad is definitely holding strong by about 2 kart lengths. Through the long corner of turn number 10, they'll make the short run down towards turn 11. Shad looks back and tries to push that kart. He is wanting to get this win into turn 11 and 12. Once again, pulls out a little further. No mistake for Brady Shad as he comes down through turns 12 and 13. Out of the final corner, Brady Shad in that number 65. Double checkered flags in the air as Brady Shad wins the finals here today. And I think it's safe to say that might be the championship as well for Brady.
Unofficially, Brady Shad's win is going to give him the championship by roughly 25 points here. So an outstanding final day of racing for the young driver for Millwright Racing in the number 65 kart. An outstanding final there. He was the leader for most of it, was able to control the race, and on the last lap pulled out an outstanding last lap to be able to give himself the race victory and probably the championship in the 65 Millwright Racing. An outstanding show of display from the Briggs 206 Sportsman presented by Perkins All-Star.
With that, we're going to go quickly through the top 10. It's Brady Shad, Landon Buer, your top 2. Braden Domont and Ezekiel Haight and Christopher Utsi round out your top 5. AJ Stoner in 6th, Ryan Mort 7th, Isaiah Maxey 8th, Slayton Baldock in 9th. 10th is Kason Hendrickson, your top 10. Coming up after the break is going to be the KA100 Senior category coming up. KA100 Senior presented by Vultures Racing Engine. You're watching all our coverage live on Kart Chaser.
USA, a top-level performance team with unmatched hospitality, offering a full-service driver development program with year-round testing available in Miami, Florida, and the official North America racing team of Parolin Racing Chassis. Chassis and parts available at ParolinUSA.com.
To Kart Chaser coverage of the 2022 season finale of the Route 66 Sprint Series live from the Autobahn circuit here in Joliet, Illinois. Taylor Burris here along with Emery Leda as we're here for the action here. Next up on the circuit is the IAME KA100 Seniors presented by Vultures Racing Engines. And on the pole, Alexander Kardashian along with Adam Maxwell on the front row. Third is Brandon Lemke with Austin Jers in 4th position. 5th is Nicholas Terlecki with Josh Holtz in the 6th position. Carmen Cass will be in 7th, followed by Emerson Reed in 8th. Bryce Mersberger in 9th, and Zach Collins rounds out your top 10.
Looking down the rest of the grid, you've got Adam Kreppen in 11th in the 37 Merlin. Mick Gabriel starting in 12th. He was up front yesterday. Should be interesting to watch him come through the field. Grant Vogel and Brian Reddick coming through at 14th. Jeremy Fierke and Alex Felstein in 16th. Gio Cardone and Kyla Anderson in 18th. Veer Das and Gabe Lee in the rounds out your top 20. And then you've got the rest of the grid coming soon.
Luke Wackerlin will be in 21st, followed by Mason Surgener in the 22nd position. Clay Robbins in 23rd. Elias Baker in 24th. Armin Kakuzik is in 25th with Gio Cicero in the 26th position. Mingyan Yu is going to be in the 27th position. Garcian Redzian in 28th. Connor Fashion in 29th. And Race Liberante, who got the pole earlier, but unfortunately some technical difficulties as well as a penalty was given to him. He's going to be riding shotgun in 30th position. Explain a little bit about that penalty that Race received.
Yeah, so for anyone that was not here earlier in the day, during qualifying, the KA Senior category went out on the wet tires, and all 30 drivers went out on them. But in the pre-final, the track had dried up enough to be able to run on slicks, and so everyone went out on slicks. And for each day in KA Senior, each driver gets 2 new sets of tires. So what happened is for the pre-final, Race went on a set of practice tires accidentally, had a mix-up in the pit area. That meant that he was on the wrong set of tires, and when he went through tech inspection, got DQ'd for having the wrong set of tires on. So the penalty for that is starting all the way back at the end of the grid. So even though he won the pre-final, he has to start all the way back in 30th, while Alexander Kardashian and Adam Maxwell will start in the front row.
And with that, everyone getting themselves warmed up, ready to go. There you see the 901 of Brandon Lemke just trying to fire it up, getting ready to go. But Race Liberante definitely going to be one to watch here, fighting through the field in this 14-lap final event. Green flag is out, and we're underway for your Miami KA100 Seniors, presented by Walters Racing Engine. Down into turn 1, it's going to be, of course, none other than Maxwell, who will take over the race lead from Kardashian as they climb up the hill to turn 3. Jars jockeying for position as they work their way through turn 4, but it's going to be Maxwell, Kardashian, and it looks like going to be Austin Jers, your top 3.
Yeah, strong start from the outside for Adam Maxwell. He puts himself onto the point for the first time since lap 1 of the pre-final on Saturday. He now leads, but not for long. He's trying. The Kardashian tries down the inside, but he shuts the door on him. So nice shot by Maxwell there. The top 4 all right together. Austin Jers, as well as Brandon Lemke, right there in 3rd and 4th. We'll see what Lemke does if he's going to try and move on Jers. He stays behind him. Josh Holtz has worked his way up to 5th in the Holtz driver development cart, as well as Nick Terlecki in 6th position. And then it looks like a big train of carts behind them, led by Emerson Reed. But the top 5 have gotten away, and specifically Maxwell and Kardashian, as we now go to the end of lap number 1 and see Adam Maxwell on the point ahead of Alexander Kardashian, Austin Jers, Brandon Lemke, and Josh Holtz rounding out your top 5 as a chaotic start to the KA Senior phase.
Very chaotic start here as they work their way down over towards turn 4 and 5. Drivers trying to now just get themselves set up for a rhythm run here in this 14-lap final event. Heading down into turn 6 and 7 here. And as we can make note, Race Liberante started 30th. He's gained 14 spots now. He is in the 16th position. The man is on a charge, as we do have one cart off somewhere on the circuit over there by turn number 9 by the looks of it. That's going to be the 308 machine who's currently parked there out on the circuit. So a tough break for him as we go back up to the front of the field and watch on as Adam Maxwell, Kardashian, Jers, Lemke, and Holtz lead the charge to your top 5.
Yeah, that was the number 38 of Elias Baker out of the race on lap number 1, the second time this weekend we've seen that for him. But Maxwell not really able to get away from the pack, but he's also not being challenged either. Meanwhile, Brandon Lemke from 4th position goes purple. In the meantime, he got by Austin Jers. Now Josh Holtz trying to make the move. He cannot make it stick. So Holtz on line. You have a big train of carts all the way down through the field. As meanwhile, we have, I believe, that might be Kyla Anderson out of the race, or at least out of the cart way back in the field. Meanwhile, Adam Kreppen making a move down in about 15th or 16th space. You can see Race Liberante is already through. Now he's going down the inside of Kreppen, gets the position on. He's up to 14th or even 13th position ahead of Grant Vogel and Adam Kreppen. So Liberante moving fast through this field. He's still got 12 more spots to make up, but he is running extremely fast here. You can already see him on the screen now. He's pulling away from the pack behind him. And up front, meanwhile, as we see Adam Maxwell starting to come through to complete another lap at the front of the field. He's now going at 52.6, but Nick Terlecki goes purple from 6th position. And yes, we're going to see where Liberante is. He's up to 12th now. He is making insane progress here as we see more battling back through the pack where Lemke's getting shuffled through.
Lemke gets shuffled through the field now as they work their way down into turn 4, 5, and 6 as they continue on. And there you see the 80 machine with a flat tire out on the circuit as he's going to make his way through, as we will now go back up to our race leaders and watch as Adam Maxwell holds the line against Alexander Kardashian, Lemke, and Jers as we keep an eye to see where Race Liberante will come out around this time by, as he is currently sitting in the 12th position and looking to gain more spots as they fight their way through turns 12 and 13. Over through the corner, we watch as Kardashian tries to make sure I get a good run out of the front straightaway here. But Adam Maxwell maintains the position as they come across side by side. Kardashian sends it to the inside.
Kardashian wasted no time there, got right up to the bumper. Maxwell made the position move. Lemke's back up to third. He's made a nice run here. And now you've got Austin Jers back there. You've got Nick Terlecki. This is an incredible final years. You can see all the way down to 9th place of Zach Collins in one long train here. This is a 9-cart lead pack, and this has to be good for Race Liberante as he tries to make up more time. He is now suddenly going to have a lot of carts battling up at the front, and currently Liberante 5.8 seconds off the lead. As we see Kardashian now starting to get a little bit of a gap to Maxwell, not by much, but Lemke's now closer to Maxwell, and will try to make a move, I would assume, in the next lap or so. But now Maxwell, a good exit through the skid pad section. That will bring him right back up to Kardashian, and you continue to see a little bit of a break between 4th and 5th, but overall still 9 carts within the real touching range of the lead as they come down to complete lap number 5. You're going to see Adam Maxwell and Brandon Lemke going through, and Alexander Kardashian down to 3rd. Now make it down to 4th as Austin Jers makes a move, maybe down to 5th. Nick Terlecki made a look there, but not enough. Move Adam Maxwell back to the lead, and Brandon Lemke up to 2nd.
Lemke really having a great run right now as he tries to follow right behind, of course, Adam Maxwell for the race lead as they work their way through the chicane of turn number 8 into the braking zone of turn 9 of that hairpin as they make the short run down to turn 10. As they work their way through, we keep an eye and seeing, of course, Race Liberante picking up 18 positions. Armin Kavkuzik also picking up 12 spots as well. He runs in 13th right behind Race Liberante as they continue to work their way through turns 12 and 13. Meanwhile, Adam Maxwell leads the charge with Lemke right behind him as they work their way down across the front straightaway. See a little tap of the helmet right there by Maxwell as they come across the line, and it's still going to be Maxwell and Lemke. Jers 0.3 of a second back from Kardashian as we now see a pass for the race lead. Here they come, big cars working their way through, and it's going to be Maxwell back up to the front of the field.
Yeah, Adam Maxwell now leading this race ahead of Austin Jers. So Jers in that sequence now is going to go up to the lead. Austin Jers was 4th just a second ago. Now he's in the race lead, but Adam Maxwell tries back down the inside through 9. Austin Jers move him back up to the race lead. The first time in a while we've seen Jers at the point. Lemke's going to have to try to make a move back from 3rd position now. But Austin Jers a little bit by surprise coming through the early part of the lap. Now Lemke making a move down the inside in the skid pad section. He's through to P2. Terlecki gets by Kardashian in that sequence. So all of this is kicking off now behind Austin Jers. But Austin Jers, an excellent move on that lap to go from 4th to 1st just in a nick of time, and now Lemke in P2. You've got Maxwell getting shuffled back by Nick Terlecki. Now Kardashian and Maxwell going to go side by side into 3. Kardashian almost able to get the spot, but Maxwell hangs on with the top 3 now. Jers, Lemke, and Terlecki. We've seen them up at the front throughout the championship. Now they're in front now, but still a big pack of go-karts all the way back down, almost to Bryce Merschberger in 8th position, all within about a second and a half here.
And as they work their way through the hairpin, we see Austin Jers leading the charge here. This is something he's been looking to try and do, but unfortunately was not able to help, it looks like, to be clinching out the championship here for this KA 100 senior. I mean, Austin really trying to put the effort in, but unfortunately that will not come to fruition here today. But Jers leading the charge here up at the front of the field. Lemke behind him, Maxwell in 3rd. And how about, of course, Race Liberante? He's moved up to P11, make it possibly P10 when they come across the line here as Lemke goes fastest, a 51.956. And Liberante still maintains the 11th position as they continue working their way through as we watch on here. A little bit of jockeying for position as Lemke takes over the race lead as they go down into turn 3 and 4.
Yeah, Brandon Lemke working himself up to the race lead ahead of Austin Jers and Nick Terlecki. We saw that play out very quickly there. Jers had 1 lap of the lead, but Lemke quickly made it back. Now Zhers to the inside of Lemke. Turn 9, Terlecki going to run Lemke a little bit wide through the turn 9 exit, and now move Nick Terlecki to second, the highest he's been in quite some time, and he now focuses on Austin Zhers. Will we see Lemke try another move? He goes for it. Now Kardashian and Terlecki side by side in the skid pad. This usually doesn't end well, and it's not going to end well for Kardashian, who loses another spot to Adam Maxwell. A little bit of a questionable move there by Kardashian there. We saw in the pre-final he made it work on Josh Holtz. This time it doesn't work, and now Terlecki's going to have some work to do to catch back up to Brandon Lemke. He's got Adam Maxwell right behind him in fourth, and then you've got a train of carts all the way down to Josh Holtz and Bryce Merceberger in the back half of the top 10. But now Austin Zhers continues to lead with Brandon Lemke trying to catch back up.
Your top 10 separated by about 2.6 seconds from Collins all the way to, of course, your race leader, Austin Zhers, who leads the charge as Zhers leads them down into turn number 9. And as they work their way through, Lemke trying to see if he can do what he just did a few moments ago. Doesn't have the momentum on his side, however, right at this moment as he sends it in at turn 11, gives right to the back bumper of the 931 machine of Austin Zhers. Meanwhile, Terlecki watches on in the third spot as they work their way through turn 13 and 14 as they come across the front straightaway here. Big run for, of course, the 901 of Brandon Lemke as they come down across the start-finish line. How about Kardashian? He's thinking about sending it to the inside for P4.
Kardashian knew what he had to do there. He gets by Adam Maxwell. Again, this might not be a battle for the championship, but for Kardashian against Terlecki, it's pretty close for third in the championship. So I don't know if he's focused on that, but certainly an important battle to watch. Now, though, Lemke caught back up to Zhers, goes down the inside. They make contact on the entrance to turn 7, but it looks like they're still side-by-side coming into 9. Lemke going to get back to the point, and this time Nick Terlecki follows him through. Move Terlecki to second, Lemke to the lead, Austin Zhers back to third, but they're still all three of them in a row, and they are ahead of the rest of the field. Now it's Terlecki, for the first time today, finds himself in the race lead coming through turn 11. He's going to go defensive. Oh, Terlecki looks like he lost a spot coming through his skid pad. He's going to try to go back down the inside of Lemke, makes it stick through 14. Not sure what happened there, but Nick Terlecki is back in the race lead. Lemke going to push him down the front straightaway. Terlecki goes very defensive on the entrance of turn 1, going to stack everyone up, and now is back to being a 6-car lead pack as Emerson Reed enters the fray.
What a battle you're seeing here for your KA 100 senior category as they work through turn 4 and 5. As Nicholas Terlecki is being very aggressively defensive here, trying to hold off the hard charge of Brandon Lemke as they head down into turn 7 and 8. As they enter into the hairpin of turn number 9, Lemke tries to see if he can bit that momentum back up again as they work through turn number 10. Heading down into short shoot over towards turn 11. Lemke get a little help from Austin Zhers as they head down into turn 11 and 12. Great racing action here as they come down towards the turn 13 and 14 complex. They're going to get the 2-to-go signal here this time by. Watch on here. Will Lemke send it to the inside as they come down to the start finish and as they work their way down 2 laps to go.
This could be anybody's race here. An 8-cart lead pack, and watch out for Zach Collins not too far behind. Nick Terlecki stacking everybody up through turn 3. This has been an exciting race. Terlecki finds himself up in the lead ahead of Brandon Lemke. Austin Zhers right there in third. Adam Maxwell in fourth position. Alexander Kardashian right there as well. Mick Gabriel, Emerson Reed, Josh Holtz all in the back of that train. Terlecki goes defensive, and Lemke's not able to cross him over. Now, this is boxing everyone in the back half of the track, and now you might even see someone like Grace Labrante not too far out of the fray as well in 10th. So as they come into 11, into the skid pad section, Terlecki maintains the lead over Lemke. He has gone defensive every corner of this lap, and he's yet to see it fail for him. And as they come onto the last lap, it is going to be 8 carts fighting for the win, with Lemke and Terlecki going side by side down the main straight, heading into the white flag.
White flag this time by as they head down into turn number 1, and it looks like it's going to be Terlecki who will hold off Lemke as they climb up the hill towards turn number 3. Very aggressive. Here comes Jerk to the inside. He wants that second place as they go around the outside lane through turns 4 and 5. Out of turn number 6 they will go, and this gives a big breathing room for Terlecki as he works his way through. How about Kardashian? He's going to get into the mix for the top 3 as they work their way through. He'll lose multiple spots as they head down to the braking zone of turn number 9. Down to the heading of turn 10, it's still Terlecki, Lemke, and Zhers, your top 3 as they work their way down towards the hairpin of turn 11, and a little bit of breathing room right there for Terlecki as they work down to turn 12 and 13. Terlecki has still enough room to maintain the lead, but you got to throw in the draft as they come out of the final corner. The 988 machine of Nicholas Terlecki will capture the flag here at the Autobahn.
Nick Terlecchia, stunning drive there to go from 6th or 5th to 1st in the last few laps there. An outstanding drive from the 988 coach driver development on the OTK chassis. What a race for him. What a race for everyone in general. Brandon Lemke finishes off his championship campaign with a 2nd. Austin Jers through 3rd. Mick Gabriel from 12th to 4th. Emerson Reed finishing in the top 5. Then you got Alexander Kardashian, Josh Oates, Adam Maxwell all in that lead group, and Zach Collins and Race Liberante from 30th ends out just inside the top 10 in 10th place.
What great racing action here for your KA 100 seniors, of course, presented by Wolters Racing Engines. Next up on the track is going to be your 206 juniors, presented by One Power Sport. Next on Kart Chaser.
USA, a top-level performance team with unmatched hospitality, offering a full-service driver development program with year-round testing available in Miami, Florida, and the official North America racing team of Parolin Racing Chassis. Chassis and parts available at ParolinUSA.com.
Welcome back to Kart Chaser coverage of the 2022 Route 66 Sprint Series, of course, presented by Hotes Driving Performance. Make sure to go check them out today to learn more information as we are here live from the Autobahn Country Club in Joliet, Illinois. Taylor Burris here along with Emery Lida as we are getting ready to kick off our next race, the 206 Juniors category, presented by One Power Sport. Championship's already wrapped up for this drivers, but still, of course, a great race that we're about to see here happening later in a few moments. We're doing a little bit of cleanup, getting a couple of the karts out off the track that were involved. And as we get ready for this, we are really about to see a great battle. But we'll go ahead and give you your starting lineup for your 7-car field. Malachi Haight will be on the pole with Nagisa Yokosawa in 2nd place, Logan Wackerlin in 3rd, followed by Jackson Wolney in 4th position. Blake Sarcia will be in 5th with Jack Sutton 6th, and Jocelyn Schlenker rounds out your 7-kart field as the field is getting ready to be released onto the racing circuit for today's action.
Yeah, certainly they're going to have a lot to live up to after that KA senior fight, but it's going to be interesting to watch because in the pre-final we saw a lot of good action between Malachi Haight, Nagisa Yokosawa, Logan Wackerlin, and Jackson Wolney. They all 4 fought for the lead. At one point, it seemed like they would be able to make a pass, but in the end, it was Malachi Haight who controlled everything yesterday, able to come away with the win. And I'm excited to see how this one plays out because I think there's a chance for all 4 of them to possibly win this race in the right circumstances.
We also want to give a quick thank you to some amazing other partners as well, as such as B&B Electric. Visit them at bnbelectric.net for more information, as well as CKT Racing Engines. Go learn more at cktracingil.com for more information. As the field is just waiting for a couple of more carts to be removed off the circuit, we will then turn them loose here for 14 laps. Of course, coming up after our 206 Juniors is the Mini Swifts, followed by the 206 Mediums, Micro Swifts, KA 100 Juniors, and then the KA Masters here to round out the day. And then podium celebrations for today's action kicks off at 4:08. As the field is currently working their way through. Of course, the next time you'll see the Kart Chaser in action, of course, will be in a couple of weeks' time as we go over for the USPKS event over at Newcastle. Another exciting weekend, a beautiful track up there in Indianapolis.
Yeah, for sure. USPKS, the parent series of Route 66, is coming to Newcastle in just 2 weeks' time. It's going to be an exciting race. I mean, you've got the national layout coming back at the Newcastle Motorsports Park. The first time any national series has run that layout in over 2 years. So it'll be exciting to see. Obviously, you've got some really close points battles there. Obviously, KA Senior looks like another stacked field to watch there. IME Pro, see if anyone can beat Ryan Norberg. But certainly that race, it'll be live on Kart Chaser and at the track at Newcastle. I cannot wait to see the action fold out at USPKS.
Of course, some other great racing action still to come this month. In the month of September is also the Texas Sprint Racing Series. That'll happen at Speed Sports Under the Lights. Catch all the action September 23rd through the 25th, only on Kart Chaser. And then, of course, October 7th through the 9th, it is going to be the Stars Championship Series. They'll finish out their series in Cincinnati to round out the season, as we hope to have you here with us on Kart Chaser or at the tracks for these amazing events. But now, it is time to go catch the action for the Briggs 206 Junior category presented by One Power Sport. The Grizz now working their way through the shortcut to make their way over towards the starting line. Karts just warming themselves up, getting ready to go for action here today. 14 laps around the 9/10 of a mile circuit as they work their way down into turn 14. Field now going to line up 2 by 2 as they enter into the start zone. Flagman looking over everyone, making sure that everyone's good to go, minds their P's and Q's so we can get a clean start here for today's action. As the field now enters in, green flag is out. We're underway for your K8 or your 206 Juniors, presented by One Power Sport, and already Malachi Haight as well as Nagisa Yokosawa are battling for the race lead. 2 cars around as they enter into turn number 1. That's going to be the 09 machine of Jack Sutton and the number 6 machine of Blake Sarcia making contact there. That's a tough break for both of them.
Yeah, tough break for the guys starting in 5th and 6th position. But in the meantime, up at the front of the field, Malachi Haight leads this race. Logan Wackerlin found himself in 2nd position right on the bumper of Haight. We saw in the pre-final, Wackerlin was able to find quite a bit of pace towards the tail end of that race. He's now in 2nd. And then 3rd, it's been a rough start there for Nagisa Yoshikawa, who is now a little ways off of Wackerlin and will have to work his way back up through the field. But certainly, Malachi Haight picking off right where he left off. He's led this race. He's led this class for almost every lap this weekend. And now as they come towards the end of lap number 1, it's going to be him with Logan Wackerlin right in tail and a pretty decent-sized gap back to Nagisa Yoshikawa, who will have to work hard to get that gap closed up.
The good news is Yoshikawa is only got about 13 laps to do it, so he has plenty of time to see what he can do here in this race as Wackerlin has moved up to P2. How about Jocelyn Schlenker moving up 2 spots as well? He's into the top, or she's into the top 5 as well. Jackson Wolney is holding strong in 4th position. He has about a 0.8 of a second lead over Jocelyn as they work their way down over into turn 6 and 7. As we watch the 205 machine of Malachi Haight lead the charge here ahead of Logan Wackerlin, who's setting the pace here. We'll see how the pace is between all 3 competitors as they work their way down to turn 10.
So far, you can see Malachi Haight already pulling a little bit of a gap back to Logan Wackerlin in 2nd position, and now Nagisa Yoshikawa continuing to close up in 3rd position. It's going to be interesting to see how patient these guys are. As you can see, Wackerlin kind of needs to find a little bit more pace. We saw this in the pre-final. The first 4 or 5 laps, it took him a little while to get into the rhythm of the race. I don't know if that was because of tire pressures or because of a mental mindset, but certainly it took Wackerlin a little bit of time, and you can see he's half a second off of what Malachi Haight was able to do on that last lap. Yoshikawa was able to close in on him by 0.2, but nobody is matching the pace that Malachi Haight has so far in this race.
Certainly is the case here as the field works their way back up towards turn 3 and 4 now as they work down towards turn 5 and 6. Competitors now separated by half a second. Wackerlin needs to try to see if he can showcase that speed that he had during the pre-finals here. Not coming to fruition here this early in the going. We'll see him really, though, come into play hopefully at the end of the race where we saw him really kick in the afterburners for his speed as we saw there in the pre-final race a little bit earlier today as we watch on the 205 of Malachi Haight leading the charge heading down into turn 11.
Haight continues to run very smooth. You see a little look back for him, but certainly still continuing to run fast as they come through the skid pad. And you can see third and fourth of Yoshikawa and Jackson Wolney starting to close in on second place Logan Wackerlin. We'll get a detail on that as they come down to get the start-finish line and complete lap number 3. Again, a purple lap for Malachi Haight. 4/10 clear of what Wackerlin was able to do. Then Yoshikawa and Wolney, both of them running times that are 2 to 4/10 quicker than Logan Wackerlin. Wolney in particular, almost as fast as Malachi Haight went on that last lap. They are closing in on Logan Wackerlin. The problem is, if they can get by Wackerlin, they're going to have almost a second to pick up to be able to get up to where Malachi Haight is already after only 3 laps.
3 laps into the event here as they work their way down towards turn number 8, and Malachi Haight has stretched it out to almost a full second over the field. Logan Wackerlin, though, under immense pressure from Yoshikawa and Wolney as they now start to work together. There's the push from Wolney to Yoshikawa as they head down into turn 11. It's nose to tail between those 3 competitors in second, third, and fourth as they approach over towards turn 13 and 14. And now as they work out of turn number 14, will Yoshikawa work with Wackerlin, or will he try to make a pass and knows that he is faster? And as they do so, they're going to stay lined up nose to tail and see if they can close the gap to Malachi Haight as Wolney moves up to the fastest time of 59.128.
Jackson Wolney, this is probably the most raw pace we've seen from him all weekend long, as he's now right on the back of Yoshikawa and Wackerlin, who also lost another 2/10 that time to Malachi Haight. Haight continues to just run his own race in the P1 position. He's got over a second back to Wackerlin, and then you've got 3 carts right there together from second to fourth. Then Jocelyn Slinker is having a nice race by herself in P5. Not really got the pace to run up front, but certainly has picked up some pace compared to yesterday, so impressive running for her. But in the meantime, you could see now Yoshikawa as well as Wolney are right on the tail of Logan Wackerlin as they come through the skid pad section. Wackerlin able to get a little bit more. I think Yoshikawa might have made a slight mistake there. But as they come onto the front straightaway, you got to think that these guys are going to have to realize that they have to get by Logan Wackerlin as soon as possible if they want a chance at Malachi Haight.
Certainly the case here as we watch on as they come down across the front straightaway. Yoshikawa trying to hold on to that third position from Wolney as we see Malachi Haight move up to the fastest time of 59.056 as they work their way. Here's the pass for position. Wolney gets around Yoshikawa for third position as they head down into turn 4 and 5.
Aggressive move there from Jackson Wolney, but he made it stick, made the pass work there. And I think he's been able to find a little bit of pace in this final they maybe didn't have earlier on in the race. So impressive stuff here from Jackson Wolney. He's continuing to find more and more pace, more and more action over the course of the weekend. I don't know if it's going to be enough for him to get by and catch up to Malachi Haight. He's got a lot of work to do in that case. But with Yoshikawa working with him, it might be enough. And certainly to get by Logan Wackerlin, who did pick up the pace last time. 59.2 was his best lap of the race. But he's going to need a little bit more than that if he wants any shot at this race victory.
Certainly is the case here as they work their way down towards the front straightaway now. And, of course, there's the push that we see, the 28 machine of Logan Wackerlin. Now looking as we see the driver of Jackson Wolney try to look to the inside as they enter turn 1. Thinks better of it, and now they have lost a ton of time. Make it now almost 2 seconds separating your top 2 from the field as they work their way down into turn 4 and 5 as they come their way out of turn 5 and 6. There you see Malachi Haight leading the charge, and then here it comes a few seconds later, the drivers of course, Logan Wackerlin as he now goes through the chicane. Big pressure right there for Wolney as he tries to hold off Nagisa Yokosawa as they head out of turn 9.
Yeah, you saw there Wolney tried to make a move on Wackerlin into turn 9. It did not work out at all. So now those top 3 or those second through fourth positions are going to have to settle in, regroup a little bit. We'll see how aggressive Wolney is in forcing the issue again. At this point, I think it's safe to say the race win might be out of question because Malachi Haight just has a dominant showing right now. He is putting down fast lap after fast lap. He's about to get into the 58-second bracket, possibly a 58.911 as I say that. Goes purple by half a second over what Logan Wackerlin and Jackson Wolney are doing. So this is his time to shine. He's got a 2.4-second gap, almost 2.5 seconds. And now for Wolney and Yoshikawa, it's about trying to get by Logan Wackerlin as soon as they can. To come through turn 4, no changes as of yet, but all three of them right there together, all looking to possibly attack one another.
As we are about to get the halfway point of the race here as the field works their way down through turn number 8. Wackerlin holding strong, and Malachi Haight, well, he did break the 58-second bracket so far, so we'll safe to say he gets the ice cream award for today with how that works out for him as he continues to lead the charge 2.5 seconds ahead of your top second, third, and fourth place drivers of Wackerlin, Wolney, and Yokosawa as they come down out of turn 11. This is the best battle on track for second as we see Wackerlin being very strong holding on as they work their way out of across onto the front straightaway here. As they work their way through, will Wolney try to go to the inside? Thinks better of it. Stays tucked up behind the top. Those three drivers need to try to work together as they head down into turn 1. And Malachi Haight has stretched it out to 3 seconds and dropped the hammer again. A 58.8 for your race leader as they work their way through turn 3 and 4.
Malachi Haight finding more and more time. He's only got 6 laps left to go in a 3-second gap. This race looks completely safe from him. We saw in the pre-final, Wackerlin and Wolney and Yoshikawa were all able to make it a race between the 4 of them. Haight did not have such a comfortable experience then, but now he is all the way out in the clear. It's going to take half a second a lap for these guys to catch him, which just does not seem feasible at all. And now Wolney's going to try to make a move into turn 11, possibly on Logan Wackerlin, but does not make it happen there. And now they're still lined up. One by one, and you can see Wackerlin continuing to lead that group. He's run consistent, but he just does not have the pace he needs to be able to get anywhere near Malachi Haight, let alone possibly holding these guys off.
He certainly has, as here we go down to the inside. Yoshikawa tries to send it in. He will complete the pass in that number 98 machine around Jackson Wolney as they climb the hill up to turn number 3. Yoshikawa now tries to see if he can just park it right there in the middle of turn 3, trying to keep, of course, Jackson Wolney's momentum up and coming as they come through turns 4 and 5, and he now gets a little separation from Wolney as they head down into turn 6 and 7.
Yeah, it's an interesting situation Logan Wackerlin has been in this race because he clearly doesn't have anywhere near the pace he needs to be able to run up at the front of the field. But he's still trying his best to hold on to second position. He's running a consistent, smooth race. And what it's doing is it's kind of frustrating Yoshikawa and Jackson Wolney as well, as both of them have struggled to get enough of a run to make it by Logan Wackerlin. So for him, I've been in this position before. It's all about just running consistent, all about trying to make sure that you don't overdrive it and give these guys a free opportunity to make a pass. Although as I say that, it looks like Yoshikawa might be looking to the inside. No, he's going to continue pushing Wackerlin. So Wackerlin does not have the pace he needs to, but still, through a little bit of racecraft and consistency, has found a way to hold on to that second position with only 4 laps to go.
As they climb the hill and already are working their way out of turn 4, 5, and 6 there, you see the battle for second place between Wackerlin and Yoshikawa, as now you see Yoshikawa all over the back bumper of the number 28 of Logan Wackerlin. Down into the chicane of turn number 8 they will go. They make a smooth run now. Yoshikawa looks to the outside, now dives it down to the inside, try to see if he can cross over before they head over to turn number 10. Not going to work this time as they come through the sweeper of turn 10, and now back onto the throttle as they work their way down into turn 11, the hairpin. Into the braking zone they will go. Yoshikawa looks to the outside. Can't make it work. Tries to show the nose on the inside as they hop through the skid pad. And now heading down into turn 13 and 14. It looks like Yoshikawa will stay stuck up behind. Now gets the momentum on his side. Will he show the nose and go to the inside? Not this time yet.
Yeah, still Yoshikawa staying very, very patient with Logan Wackerlin as they come now to 3 laps of racing to go. A 59.1 for Malachi Haight in the meantime in the last lap. So he's kind of fallen off a little bit from his own pace, but still running just as fast as that group behind him. 3.6 seconds is the gap to Wackerlin now as they come up through turn 6 bowl. You can see just not enough pace and momentum for Yoshikawa to get the move done there. I think if he's going to make a move, he's going to have to do it coming down the main straightaway. And that's while Jackson Wolney, and right on cue, into turn 9, Wolney makes a move and gets himself back up to 3rd. So we've seen Yoshikawa and Wolney swap positions a number of times now. And up until now, they have stayed right in line behind Wackerlin. But as I say that, Wolney's going to go down the inside into the skid pad section. Now Wackerlin over the curb, able to hang on to the position. He's got it. He hangs it around the outside through the skid pad section, but Wackerlin now really under fire from Jackson Wolney as we hit the 2 to go mark, and a dominant display by Malachi Haight.
2 laps to go for Malachi Haight, who holds on to the race lead. Wackerlin, though, he is under pressure as here comes Yoshikawa to the inside of Wolney as they climb up the hill. He'll try to go for second place. Almost makes contact with, of course, Wackerlin as they head down the hill through turns 3 and 4. And it's going to be a close battle between him for the second step of the podium as they climb down out of turn 4 and 5 down the short chute to turn 6.
Yeah, Wackerlin here still able to hang on to second as they continue to swap positions for third and fourth. We've seen it now, I believe, 6 times in this race already. And what that's done is that has allowed Wackerlin to continue running his race in second. And now soon he's going to be able to just defend from these guys in third and fourth. Now, as you can see, Yoshikawa doesn't want to let that happen. Wackerlin, though, does go defensive into turn 11, keeps the position as he now rides over the curbs. And now you're going to have to see if Yoshikawa is going to make a move now onto the last lap. Now, as we're coming through turn 13 and 14, you can see now Malachi Haight is going to get the white flag. You just barely, he's got about a 4-second gap down to Logan Wackerlin in second place. And then it's Wolney and Yoshikawa. As Yoshikawa tries into turn 1, cannot make it stick, but now they're going side by side into turn 3.
Up the hill to turn 3, Wackerlin on the inside with the defensive. How about Wolney now also going to try to capitalize on the mistake of Yoshikawa as he'll slide back up to P3 on this final lap. Meanwhile, Malachi Haight continues to lead the charge as they head down into turn 7 and 8 as we watch on this battle for second. As Wackerlin holds off, of course, Jackson Wolney as they head down into turn 9 for the final time as they approach over towards turn number 10. And as they work their way down through the middle short chute over towards turn 11, we're going to keep our eye on our leader, of course, of Malachi Haight, who will be your race leader still as they work their way through turn 12 and 13. Meanwhile, up at the front of the field, out of turn 14, it is going to be Malachi Haight who will capture the flag here at the Autobahn as he wins your 206 junior category powered by One Power Sport. As we catch on and see who will come out on top in second, it will be Wackerlin, Yokosawa, and Wolney who will round out your top 4. As we wait for Jocelyn Schlenker, who will come home in 5th position, Sarcia and Sutton rounding out your 7-car field, as there's the checkered flag out for Schlenker, who will cross the line. Sarcia next, and then Jack Sutton finishing in 7th position. A great battle, a dominant performance by Malachi Haight.
Yeah, certainly Malachi Haight ends up winning every session outside of qualifying today. A dominant display for him on the weekend. Again, not going to be quite enough for him to get up to Ava Hansen. She was able to sit out this race and comfortably win the Briggs Junior Championship, but still Malachi Haight solidifies himself in second in the championship this year. So an outstanding run for him, a lot to be proud of for the Nitro Kart driver in the number 205 kart, but still just an outstanding season for these Briggs 206 junior categories, sponsored by One Power Sport.
With that, we're going to take a quick commercial break, but when we come back, we will be back with the DNJ Miami Mini Swifts presented by DNJ International Services next on Kart Chaser.
The 2023 season is just around the corner, and if you're looking to buy, sell, connect, or learn, make plans to attend the 37th Annual OVK Go-Kart Swap Meet, February 4th, 2023. Register online at ovk.com.
I'm Billy.
It's going to be the Tovo brothers on the front row with Buer and Shad in row number 2, Abernathy and Drumalev in 5th and 6th, and Saraki rounding out your 7-kart field as we are about to get the green flag for your Miami Mini Swifts powered by DNJ as they head down into turn 1. It's going to be the Tovo brothers who will lead the charge. Meanwhile, Buer tries to fall back to P4 as Brady Shad takes on in 3rd place, but then loses it to Buer, who drops back to P4.
Yeah, I think that's Asen Dramalov, who's had an outstanding start to get all the way up to third position. At this point, I don't think he's fighting for the championship. I think he's just fighting for pure pride. I can't confirm this, so I'm pretty sure Ethan Tovo has clinched the championship as a result of the pre-final race, but he's off to an outstanding start. Jackson Tovo's in second. He lost the spot on the start, but still an outstanding start for him as well. Asen Dramalov from 6th to 3rd already. Now he's going to come under fire from Brady Schad, possibly into turn 11. Schad sticks right behind him, and now you have a full train of go-karts all the way back to Brendan Strachey at the tail of the field. But still, an outstanding start here from Ethan Tovo. Provisionally, your championship winner is looking strong as they come to the end of lap number 1 here at Autobahn on the final day of action here for the 2022 Route 66 Sprint Series.
And as they work across the start-finish line, it's going to be Ethan Tovo, followed by Jackson Tovo. Asin Dramalev is in 3rd position. Shad, Buer, Abernathy, and Saraki currently your top 7 as they head down into turn 4, working their way through. The Tovo brothers currently have about a 0.3 of a second lead over Asin Dramalev, who lead the charge in 3rd as they work their way down into turn 6 and 7 through the chicane of turn number 8. A little bit of wide right there for Jackson Tovo, but is able to gather it back up. This could open the door for Asin Dramalev, who is in 3rd, but he's under immense pressure from Brady Schad in the 165.
Yeah, this looks like Shad has maybe the fastest card of anyone on the opening parts of this race, as he has been right on the bumper of Dramalev through the first lap and a half, and now coming on to the end of lap number 2. You can see there he's just able to carry so much speed through that skid pad section. He's right on the bumper of Dramalev as they come to the end of lap number 2. Ethan Tovo clicks off another lap in the lead. You can see Jackson Tovo not too far behind, only about 0.8 of a second, but Ethan goes purple. Dramalev also close behind. Brady Schad also close. You've got then Benham Abernathy and Landon Buer struggling for pace behind them, but certainly the top 4 have broken away and are all running very similar pace right now.
They certainly are here as we watch on. Ethan Tovo has stretched it out to 55 seconds as we go back to the battle for P2. As here we go, Dramalev moving up to P2, and now Brady Schad, he wants also to move up a spot. He'll take away the P3 spot as they come out of turn number 9, approaching turn number 10. Drop, of course, Jackson Tovo down to 4th position as he works his way back a little further, trying to see if he can now reclaim a podium spot as they work their way back into turn 11 and 12. And here comes Brady Schad with a head of steam on Asin Dramalev as they head into 13.
Yeah, already a strong start to this race for Asin Dramalev, who started in 6th place after a rough pre-final. Not sure what happened there. Maybe it was a setup thing. But now he is up into 2nd place. Brady Schad willing to work with him, and that's paid off so far. They got by Jackson Tovo on that last lap. They were 10 slower than Ethan Tovo, but now they have clear air in front of them if they're willing to work together. I don't know if they'll be able to make it all the way up through the field, but certainly it's a nice start. As we now check through the rest of the field, you've got Landon Buer at the outside of the top 5. Benham Abernathy in 6th, and Brandon Saraki this time hanging on to that group in 7th. Again, yesterday we saw he was over a second off. Now he's right there with that second group. So now, as you see now, Brady Schad trying to go to the outside of Asin Dramalev, maybe set him up through the entrance of turn 11. Not really doing anything there, but they're still pushing each other, working with each other early on in this race, trying to catch back up to Ethan Tovo.
Currently, your top 4 is separated by less than 1.5 seconds here as they work their way back into turn 13 and 14. As they head down out of turn 14, you're going to see Schad and Dramalev work together, lined up nose to tail. Big push for Dramalev from Schad as they come across the line of 55.055 for Ethan Tovo, and that is clearly more than 0.2 of a second over Asin Dramalev as he leads the charge in that second group. Brady Schad is currently trying to push him with Jackson Tovo, the brother of Ethan, heading down into turn 5 and 6.
Yeah, Jackson Tovo lost those 2 spots there on the last couple laps, and now he's going to try to make his way back up through there. We've seen Jackson make a couple errors so far this weekend, certainly in the pre-final yesterday struggle, but in the final when he was on, he was able to come away with the win. As now you see Schad trying to pull to the outside of Dramalev coming through turn 10. Did not quite work out for him there, but he's pushing Dramalev now as they come through to the skid pad section. You can see just the amount of grip Schad has through that section. He looks like he has a really planted cart, and you almost wonder at what point does he go for his own move and try to get by Dramalev as they come down the main straight to click off another lap. Lap number 5 in the books. Ethan Tovo continues to go purple. He's in the 54-second bracket now, a full 0.4 quicker than what anyone else is doing outside of Jackson Tovo, is only about 0.3 off, but still dominant display so far from Ethan Tovo in this race.
Certainly is for Ethan Tovo, who is currently trying to stretch that lead out even more so. 1.8 seconds now as we see a pass for position here. Here comes Brady Shad to the inside of Asin Dramalev, and throw in also Jackson Tovo, who will complete the pass. There's your new podium start right there as we see Dramalev dropping back to the 4th position now as they come out of turn number 9. And as they work through turn 10, Dramalev now has to do a little bit of work now and pull those belts and that glove a little bit tighter as he tucks his head, trying to get a little bit more of a slipstream as they come out. There you see Tovu also in 3rd, trying to work his way back around Brady Shad for 2nd.
You can already see now Brady Shad and Jackson Tovo working together. They have a lot of pace in this race. Now, Jackson down the inside of Brady Shad. Will that be a little bit of a defensive move to give his brother a little bit more space? Not sure on that one. We'll have to check that later on and see how this race plays out, but certainly Jackson immediately ditches Brady Shad, goes back to 2nd place, and sets a new personal best in the process. In the meantime, they have dropped Asin Dramalev, who just does not seem to have the pace at the moment to keep up with those top 3. Meanwhile, Ethan Tovo continues to set purple lap after purple lap, a 54.900 on that last time around. He's a full 10th of a second quicker than his brother and has a 2.1 second gap, so it is looking good for him. But Jackson Tovo, along with Brady Shad, are now pulling a gap to the rest of the field as they come through to complete lap number 7.
Coming up to take the halfway signal here. Next time by, Ethan Tovo still holds on to the race lead as we watch on the battle for 2nd between Brady Shad and Jackson Tovo as they work their way out of turn 13. They've already stretched out to about 0.8 of a second over Dramalev as they come out of turn 14. Heads tucked down as they come down across the start-finish line. Halfway for them as they head down out of turn 1. Big slide right there by Jackson Tovo, who then sets the fastest lap of the race, a 54.894 for him as Brady Shad is right there behind him with a 54.916. They are picking up the pace, but do they have enough time? 2 seconds separates those two from the leader.
Yeah, at this point, it might be a case of too little, too late for for Jackson Tovo and Brady Shad to catch up to Ethan Tovo, but they're still going to give it everything that they have to try to catch up to your race leader now. Shad goes a little bit of a fade to the inside coming through turn 10. Don't know if that was for a move or just simply to kind of get out of the dirty air, just kind of trying to get himself some clean space there. But still, good effort here from Jackson Tovo. You can see him pushing hard. You can see coming through there, hitting the curve, hitting the bumps. There's very rough through that section as they come to complete lap number 8. I don't know if they've closed it at all, but certainly they are putting in everything they can to get closer and closer to Ethan Tovo. 2 tenths down on that point. It's 1.8 seconds now. A 54.86 for Jackson Tovo as he goes purple with Brady Shad only a couple thousand slower. They are catching Ethan Tovo, but it looks like they might just run out of time.
6 laps or 5.5 laps to go as they approach out of turn number 6, heading down the short chute to turn 7 and 8. And as they work their way through, the Tovo brothers now 1 and 2 once again here today. They're looking to try to see if they can keep that and for the podium celebrations this afternoon as they work their way down into turn number 10. Brady Shad still trying to find the weak point to get back around Jackson Tovo for that 2nd spot as he looks to the inside as they come through turn 11. No opening there for him, just
it looks like Jackson Tovo is going to be able to get himself up, continuing to run in 2nd position as Shad tried to make the move stick, but like you mentioned, there's just no opening through that skid pass section. It is very tight as they come now. Ethan Tovo resets fast time of 54.833. He must have seen a little bit of closing in from his brother Jackson Tovo. Reyes is up the wick just a little bit. They're all running within about 100th of each other, but still, Ethan Tovo, with 5 laps to go, continues to run at a solid pace in P1 with Jackson and Brady still behind him.
We're going to take a look at the battle between Asin Dramalev and, of course, also Landon Buer, who's right there with him. These two battling. Throw in Benham Abernathy as well. This group of karts right here, 3 karts left on the circuit here, along with, of course, Brandon Saraki, who's about 1.6 seconds back from them. But a good little battle between Dramalev. Even though he is not able to win the championship by the looks of things here today, he is going to still try to put on a good performance. As there you see the pass for position. Abernathy getting around Buer for that 5th spot.
Yeah, so Dramalev, even though he hasn't had the strongest of days, certainly this has probably been his worst day on the tour so far this season. You have to respect, I mean, he is a driver that's a little bit newer to this than what the Tovos have done, not anywhere near as much national experience, and he has put together a solid championship fight aboard the Technokart, continuing to work and try his best to make a move stick. And so now as he's in P6 out of 7, it's been a rough day, has not been what he anticipated coming into this weekend, trying to get the championship lead. But now you're seeing the whole entire field. You can see now Landon Buer and Benham Abernathy getting a little bit of a gap to him, but a lot to be proud of for Asin, even if he's going to come up short against Ethan Tovo, as we now focus back in on the battle for 2nd briefly and see that Jackson Tovo is still ahead of Brady Schad, and they kind of closed the gap a little bit, but it's stabilized about 1.8 seconds to Ethan Tovo.
They currently have about a 3.5-second lead over Landon Buer, as well as they work their way back over towards 12, 13, and 14 as they make their way down across the front straightaway here. And as we see the Tovo brothers lead the charge here, of course, Brady Schad trying to really close the gap. And how about this? A 54.731 for Jackson Tovo, who is trying to see what he can do. It's now down to 1.7 seconds, but still not enough time left on the laps here. 3 laps to go for your leader, Ethan Tovo.
Yeah, Ethan Tovo just continuing to keep it about 1.7 seconds. Jackson Tovo that last time through was very quick. Pulled out 2/10 from Brady Schad. Schad has reflected that on this lap and looks to be right back up towards them, but still, Ethan Tovo cannot say enough about what a composed drive this has been for him today. If not for a mechanical failure before the final yesterday, he probably would have clinched the championship then, but instead, he's had to go through the hard way, has had to fight his way up, but now he's got clear sailing at the end of this final. A full 1.8 seconds back to his brother, Jackson Tovo, who's still holding Brady Schad at bay. We're going to see a look at their times this time through and see just how fast Ethan Tovo can get. It's a 55.0 for him that time through, 54.9 for Jackson, 54.7 for Schad. So the battle for second is heating back up again. And again, 4.7 seconds for them back to Landon Buer. And it looks like now Schad has made a move on Jackson Tovo for second place. And with 2 laps to go, that might be an important position for Schad. Maybe not for the potential championship, but still in the points it is all important.
As we watch on through the field out of towards turns 7 and 8, Brady Schad has moved up to P2. Ethan Tovo, however, has worked his way towards the back half of the course now, working his way down towards turn 11 as they lead the chart. Brady Schad, though, now has to play defensive to keep, of course, Jackson Tovo behind him for the second place position as they work their way through down out of 12 and 13. They're going to set up as they come out of 14. We're going to see Ethan Tovo see the white flag one more time around here, presented by, of course, their sponsor, of course, D&J Services, as they work their way down into turn number 1. And as they do so, Brady Schad now having to be defensive of Jackson Tovo as they climb the hill to turn 3 for the final time. Heading down the hill into turn 4, it's still going to be Ethan holding strong by himself. And as they come behind the hill of turn 4 and 5, Brady Schad still holds on. Can, of course, Jackson find the opening he needs to get down toward the inside of him as they approach towards 7 and 8 and into the hairpin of turn number 9. Jackson Tovo goes the long way around, build the momentum up, maybe out of turn 9. Not going to work for him as they approach turn 10. And as they work their way out of turn number 10, Ethan Tovo still maintains the race lead. Jackson, though, about a kart length and a half behind Brady Schad as they come through turn 11. Out of 12 and 13, no pressure from behind for Brady Schad. And out of 14, he DNF'd yesterday, but comes back and wins and dominates. It's going to be Ethan Tovo, your race leader. Meanwhile, Brady Schad and Jackson Tovo round out your podium finishers. And as they come across the line, Landon Buer will not finish in 4th or 5th, as Landon, he will finish in 4th. Benin Abernathy in 5th, and Asin Dramalev, disappointment on his face as he crosses the line in 6th. Brandon Saraki comes home in 7th.
Yeah, a great race for the mini Swift category. Ethan Tovo, a dominant 2.4 second display of dominance there for the 113 Nitro Kart driver. What can you say about Tovo? A dominant performance this season. Had a little bit of hiccups, but still came away with a comfortable championship win. Asin Dramalev had a good race as well, but it was Brady Schad and Jackson Tovo rounding out your podium. Landon Buer and Benin Abernathy rounding out your top 5. Strong showings for them as well. Asin Dramalev has to be disappointed, but still a strong season for him in his first real season in Mini Swift. And then Brandon Saraki, a good showing in terms of self-improvement. Stayed in that pack for a while, and he has to be happy with that.
Next up on to the track is going to be the Briggs 206 Senior Medium category, presented by Millwright Racing. We'll be right back after these commercial breaks. You're watching the 2022 Route 66 Sprint Series on Kart Chaser.
Kart Store USA is a kart parts supplier that racers and retailers can count on when they need reliable advice and service. We focus on servicing all racers with honesty and pride while maintaining customer satisfaction. We carry a full stock of Kart Republic and Tony Kart chassis, as well as IAMI and Vortex Rock engines. We've also got a host of other parts available and in stock, such as products from Rev Performance Materials, Jekko Racing Seats, and more. We have a 100% satisfaction guarantee, and on top of that, if your order exceeds $200, shipping is on us. Check out all we have to offer today by visiting us online at kartstore-usa.com. Parallel USA, a top-level performance team with unmatched hospitality, offering a full-service driver development program with year-round testing available in Miami, Florida, and the official North America racing team of Parallel Racing Chassis. Chassis and parts available at ParalleLUSA.com. If you're looking for top-grade equipment, look no further than Rev Performance Materials, engine mounts, sprockets, and arcade chains. Available online now at RevPerformanceMaterials.com and through a dealer near you. The highest quality material, built to the highest quality standards. Rev Performance Materials.
Welcome back to Kart Chaser coverage of the 2022 Route 66 Sprint Series. Next on the track is the Briggs 206 Senior Medium powered by Millwright. Green flag is out, and it's going to be Adam Maxwell who will lead the charge down into turn number 1. Merceberger tries to work on the outside in second place, but as they work their way through, Connor Fashing up on the inside. He moves to P3 at Habertas. Braden Johnson and Spencer Schmidt, your 6 karts out on the circuit as they come behind the hill of turns 4 and 5. They will approach over out at turn number 6, but it's going to be Maxwell, your race leader.
Already a good start to the race for Adam Maxwell. He's got Bryce Merceberger right in tow again, substituting in for Jalen Kurt in this race. Not sure exactly what happened with her, but certainly Bryce Merceberger did an outstanding job in the pre-final. Almost came away with the win there. You've got Connor Fashing already in third. He got pulled away from at the end of that race, but still, Fashing has been very impressive this weekend so far in the LO206 medium category. He's running with a chance for the win. They're all right there together, the top 3. Then a pretty massive gap back to Braden Johnson in 4th and Amir Dawson 5th. But the top 3, we saw this in the pre-final, going nose to tail as they complete lap number 1.
Across the line here, Maxwell, Merceberger, and Fashing now your top 3 as they lead the charge heading down up to the top of the hill of turn number 3. Braden Johnson holds strong in 4th position, but he is under pressure from Javier Das as well as Spencer Schmidt, your top 6 as they head down out across out of turn 4 and 5 there out of turn 6. So little breathing room right there for Adam Maxwell as Connor Fashing moves up to P2.
Yeah, strong move there for Fashing to get himself up into second position as Bryce Merceberger. You have to go from third again. We saw in the pre-final, was able to do that pretty quickly there to get from 6th to 1st. Now we'll see what he can do in the final here as he's now in 3rd position behind Fashing. Again, just trying to stay patient here. It's a long race. These 3 have been working well together through the heat race and into the early lap of the final. So it's going to be important for them to continue to work, not let Braden Johnson back into the fight, not even Javier Vadas either, as those 2 have had some pace at some points this weekend. But now as they come down to get down to the main straight, you can see on lap number 2, it's Adam Maxwell and Connor Fashing pushing themselves away. They went about half a second quicker than Bryce Merceberger that last lap, trying to pull away just the 2 of them as Merceberger tries to hang on in 3rd.
Connor Fashing, of course, set the fastest lap so far of the race right now with a 58.521 as they work their way behind the hill of turn 4 and 5. Here they come out of turn number 6, the short shoot to turn number 7. And, of course, it's going to be Adam Maxwell leading the charge. Fashing, though, in that all-green machine, leading the charge in 2nd place as they head down into turn number 9. Raking the short shoot. He tries to show the nose as they come out towards turn number 10. Not going to be able to make anything stick that time as they head down towards turn 11.
Yeah, Fashing really kind of pushing Maxwell along. He split the 2 AMAX Racing machines down. As you can see, Fashing working together with Maxwell through the chute, through the skid pad section, into turn 13. He takes a look back behind him, sees Bryce Merceberger about a kart length behind. So already a good start for the 2 of them as we come down the main straight and see another lap down in the books. This is lap 3. And now, this time, Merceberger goes purple at 57.7. He's kind of accordion back together with them. They have all dropped Braden Johnson and Javier Das, who are going way slower than what the top 3 are going. But now, you can see Maxwell with Fashing right behind him, and Bryce Merceberger as well is caught back up to them. So it's back to being a 3-kart race up at the front.
Three-kart race now continues to battle on here between Maxwell, Fashing, and, of course, Merceberger as they led down into turn number 9. Through the hairpin they will go, and it's still Maxwell holding strong over Fashing. Fashing just now going to bide his time. Let's get to a point of the race where he feels confident to make the pass here as they head down the short chute towards turn 11. Into 11 they will go. They still are going to line up nose to tail. No pressure whatsoever from behind, and, of course, for Fashing, he is looking to try to go for another chance of a victory here this weekend.
Yeah, for Fashing, he came up just short yesterday. He waited all the way until the last lap to try to make a move on Adam Maxwell. We'll see how patient he is this time. So far through 4 laps, he's not given any indication of making a move on Maxwell here. But with Bryce Merceberger in the equation, maybe that changes things. And it does. Into turn 3, you see Cole Fashing making a move, or Connor Fashing making a move into the turn 3 complex. And now as he comes out towards turn 5, turn 6, it is Connor Fashing into the race lead. Adam Maxwell right in tow. Bryce Merceberger in third. They are all 3 under a blanket. And now you've got the 2 AMAX Racing karts back together as now they're going to fight their way through on Connor Fashing through turn 9. Looks like Merceberger tries to hang it around the outside. Doesn't work. And now Fashing back to the inside in turn 10 ahead of Maxwell. This is some dicey stuff here, but they're making it work as Fashing goes defensive into turn 11 and parks the bus.
What an absolute pass right there as you see Maxwell give a little bit of a hand up to let Merceberger know, hey, let's go back to working together like we did in pre-final action to get around Connor Fashing as they come out of turn number 14 across the front straightaway. They will go. They'll look to the inside, and he gets a big push, but will we see Fashing be aggressive? He looks to his inside as they head down into turn 1. Maxwell back up front, but now, of course, Connor Fashing has the inside lane advantage to keep Merceberger behind in third position as they work down out of turn 4 and 5. Fashing will now hold on to second place.
We're seeing Fashing really getting his elbows out here as we see through 5 laps now. He lost the lead to Maxwell, but was able to hang on against Merceberger in the backside of the track last time. Wasted no time making a move through turn 10. This is more aggressive than we've seen at any point this weekend for the LO206 category. And as we see now coming through turn 9 into 10, again, they stay in line. Maxwell continues to lead. He's done that a lot this year. Again, already your provisional champion, has clinched the series unless something crazy happens in tech. But certainly Adam Maxwell, a strong showing for him with Connor Fashing continuing to work right behind him. Fashing last lap, we saw some of the aggressiveness that maybe we didn't see yesterday, but he's going to have to be patient again here to get by Adam Maxwell and not risk crashing out or doing anything crazy. As now Merceberger continues to pull right up to the back end of Connor Fashing as they come down into turn 1 to complete another lap. And again, it is Adam Maxwell with about a 2-car length lead over Connor Fashing and Bryce Merceberger.
Keeping an eye on the field, of course, Merceberger, of course, set the fastest lap of the race as they are now getting ready to get the halfway signal next time by as they head down through turns 4 and 5. And as they approach turn number 6, it is still going to be Maxwell holding strong over Fashing. So Fashing is trying to work his way through the chicane of turn number 8. And as they head down into the braking zone of turn number 9, no pressure whatsoever for Maxwell as they send it into turn number 10. No pressure either as we look through the rest of the field. Braden Johnson has about a 2-second advantage over Javier Das, and then a 1.2-second advantage from Das to Spencer Schmidt. As the field now, this is the best battle on the track for your top 3 as they work their way towards, of course, turn 13. Maxwell maintains strong and holds on to the race lead as they come out of turn number 14. They're going to get the halfway signal this time by 7 laps to go.
And you see Fashing continuing to stay patient here. He pushes Maxwell down the main straightaway, and now you have all 3 karts right there together. Merceberger pulls the outside, now switches to the inside. A little bit of a daring move. He almost got 2 in 1 there. Almost accidentally got by Adam Maxwell, but he'll settle to get into second place. So move Bryce Merceberger ahead of Connor Fashing. And now it's an AMAX 1-2 with Merceberger behind Maxwell. We'll have to see how content Merceberger is to work with Maxwell, or if he's going to try to make a move for himself to get right back up into the race lead.
Got a little bit of work to do here as they work their way over towards turn number 10 as they head down into the braking zone and then stretch it out now as they work their way down the short chute towards turn 11. Great drive for them as they head down over there. And as they continue to do battle for position here, we're going to keep an eye on them working their way through turn 14 and 15. Merceberger trying to find the opening he needs to get back up to the race lead.
Yeah, seeing Bryce Merceberger now content to push Adam Maxwell, you can see now they have worked themselves a little bit ahead of Connor Fashing. It is not by much, but it is enough to make a difference when it comes to drafting up. You can see that last lap about 0.3 of a second clear of what Fashing was able to do. 58.2 for Merceberger, 58.3 for Maxwell. And now if they continue pushing each other, we saw this in the pre-final, they were able to get a little bit of a gap on Connor Fashing. We'll see if it happens again in the final as Merceburger continues to go right behind Adam Maxwell. 6 laps to go. You can see it's just between the 3 of them, and Merceburger is trying to make it just a 2-kart race coming to the line.
As we continue to watch the battle here for position between these drivers as they work their way down towards turn 11 now. There's a little bit of separation between your top 2 and Connor Fashing as they head down out through turn 11 and 12, now approaching turn 13. And, of course, Merschberger tries to find the opening as they work together with, of course, Adam Maxwell out of the final corner down the front straightaway. They're going to push each other to try to get some more separation from Connor Fashing.
You can see, actually, Bryce Merschberger taking a look at the main straightaway, like the pit wall there. A little bit interesting decision there, but he stays behind Adam Maxwell coming down into turn 3 now. So Bryce Merschberger continuing to stay very patient behind, I guess, his technical teammate. Obviously, he doesn't necessarily run with AMAX Racing in the KA category, but because he's running Jalen Kerr's equipment, he is on the same chassis as what Adam Maxwell's driving. So it'll be interesting to see how that factors in. They have certainly pushed ahead of Connor Fashing, 6/10 quicker on that last lap, which is unfortunate for Fashing because he clearly has quite a bit of pace this weekend. But this is 2 experienced senior drivers, 2 guys that have shown a lot of raw pace at Route 66 over the years, putting together an excellent display of working together. As they come down towards 4 laps to go, I think you're going to see them continue to push with Maxwell in front and Merschberger in second as they try to make it just between the 2 of them to end off this race.
And as they work their way down out of turn number 14, they're still taking a look over there. You see Bryce just bouncing a little bit, trying to be like, all right, can I go? Can I go? Can I make the pass? No, not yet. They're going to have to wait their way up to turn 3. And as they work their way through, Maxwell still maintains the race lead. Connor Fashing, though, a little bit off the pace right now. Can't really seem to find the speed he needs to go and catch up to them as they head back down towards turns 4, 5, and 6, heading into turn number 7. The 2 karts now working together to try to see if they can pull the distance even more so as they're getting ready to come to 3 laps to go.
Yeah, I find it really interesting here that Bryce Merschberger is taking a look over at the pit wall every single time, almost like he's looking for a little bit of instructions with the AMAX crew. Interesting decision there as they've now clearly gotten a lot of separation in this race. It's going to be down to the 2 of them unless something crazy happens between them, but certainly an outstanding race so far from Bryce Merschberger and from Adam Maxwell as well. And you're seeing them running lap times that are just clearly 8/10 clear what anyone else is able to do. And now coming down the main straight, Maxwell this time pulls away from Merschberger a little bit, and they're down to 3 laps of racing left.
3 laps to go for your race leader, Adam Maxwell, as they work their way out of turn number 3 now. The top 2 currently just biding their time, realizing one could make a move at any moment as they come through turn 4, 5, and 6. Out of turn number 6 to the short chute of turn 7, you see Merschberger trying to maintain position as we see Maxwell just biding his time, hitting his marks as they approach over to turn 9.
Yeah, at this point, I wouldn't be surprised if there's no moves until about a lap and a half left, just because it's about kind of maintaining your position. And thankfully, we're close to that point. But certainly, Merschberger has to have been patient throughout this entire race. He knows that pushing Maxwell away is their best chance of winning this race, as they've continued to put almost 2 seconds on Connor Fashing. So Maxwell now continues to lead over Merschberger. Again, I think they're going to keep working together, but we'll have to see now as they come down to 2 laps to go. Do you see the signals on the pit wall for them to keep working together? Will we see it continuing to happen? I'm not sure. But now Merschberger continuing to push away with Adam Maxwell. He goes purple on that lap of 57.554 for the number 131 kart. The substitute for Jalen Kerr is doing a fantastic job just pushing his teammate along. They're working well together. And with only a lap and a half left, we're going to have to see if they switch positions, which I think they have in the back section of the track. Move Bryce Merschberger up to the race lead ahead of Adam Maxwell now as they come into turn 9. Move Merschberger to the point with only a lap and a half remaining.
Merschberger tries to hold off and watch out for the undercut that we see Maxwell trying to do. And as they work their way through and continuing on as they watch on through turn 11 and 12, Merschberger maintains a strong lead as we see Maxwell continues to get the push he needs down in towards turn 12 and 13. Now will Maxwell try to respond down as they come down out of turn 14. White flag in the air as they head across the line, and Merschberger will lead them down. Will he be aggressive and be defensive? No, he's going to stick to his line. And, of course, Maxwell stays tucked up behind him as they climb the hill up to turn number 3. Maxwell tries to cross over, hips the curb a little bit as they work down into turn number 4. Out of turn 4, 5, and 6, you see your top 2. Now, as we see a big pass to the outside, can't quite make it work for Maxwell as he'll get ready to make a pass to the inside. He will make a little contact as they make it through the chicane. You can't really go too wide through there, but Hirschberger will now hold on as they come out of turn number 9. Now crossover coming into play as they come over to turn number 10. Merceberger tries to make sure he can hold off Maxwell as they work their way down the short chute turn toward 11 as they now head into the braking zone. Side by side, they'll go the outside lane. Merceberger tries to hold on as they work down into turn 12. Through turn 12 and 13, Bryce Merceberger has one more chance as here comes Adam Maxwell to the inside. It's going to be a drag race. Adam Maxwell tucks his head down and he will come out on top. No, it's going to be Bryce Merceberger who will take home the checkered flag.
What an outstanding race to the line there. Another fantastic finish in the 206 medium this weekend, and this time it is Adam Maxwell getting defeated, only the third time all season, this time at the hands of Bryce Merceberger, the super substitute. The number 131 cart filling in for Jalen Kerr comes up with a fantastic win on the last lap of this race. I don't know what it is about this track, but it has produced some outstanding Break 206 medium class races presented by Millwright. So again, Bryce Merceberger filling in for Jalen Kerr gets the win. Adam Maxwell, your championship winner, comes home in second. Connor Fashing finishes third. Braden Johnson in fourth position. Harvard Doss comes away with a fifth. And then round out your field will be the number 50 car of Spencer Schmidt.
Absolute great battling here today for the amazing racing that we just witnessed here today in the 206 mediums presented by Millwright Racing. And of course, that was some great racing action here. But we're going to take a quick commercial break. But when we come back, it is going to be none other than the Micro Swifts out on circuit presented by Quick Swim. You're watching Kart Chaser, only here from the Autobahn Country Club. Welcome back to Kart Chaser coverage of the 2022 Route 66 Sprint Series from the Autobahn Country Club as we are getting ready for the Miami Micro Swifts presented by Quick Swim, and it's going to be AJ Stoner and Jacob Majeski on the front row. Green flag is out as we're underway here for 14 laps of competition. Down into turn 1, it's going to be AJ Stoner who will take over the race lead and maintain it. Majeski is going to fall back to P3 as Harder will move up to P2 as they come out of turn number 3, downing into turn 4. Cars now jockeying for position as they work their way down into turn 4.
Yeah, already seeing Holden Harder in second position here. He was the big mover here on this opening lap. Last time in the pre-final went from 6th to 3rd. Now in the final, he's up from 3rd to 2nd as Majeski lost a spot. But AJ Stoner, just like we saw in the pre-final, able to move consistently up to the front of the pack, gets a good lead as now Majeski back down the inside and Harder. Oh, that was an aggressive move, and Harder with a nice save coming into turn 11. Nice job by the young Magic Kart driver to save that one. He was halfway around. He's going to lose a lot of spots as a result of it, but he's still alive, still in this race. I think he's still inside the top 5, but a really aggressive move by Jacob Majeski set that up as now they come across to get set for their first lap. It's AJ Stoner with a big lead as now it looks like Jacob Majeski coming under attack from Tucker Trebe.
Tucker Trebe looks to the inside as they head down, and he will move up to P2. How about this battle a little further back, 2 by 2 as they climb up the hill towards turn number 3 and jockey for position as we see Holden Harder falling back to P7. Got a little bit of work to do here, but plenty of time to do so as AJ Stoner, well, he's checked out on the field over a second now, separate your top 2 as they head down into turn 7 and 8. And as they do so, Jacob Majeski and Tucker Trebe now got to start working together if they want to go up there and close the gap over towards AJ Stoner.
Yeah, keeping an eye here on camera, Marcia and Holden Harder. Harder fell all the way back to the 7th position. He stays there now, but Marcia went from 8th to 6th there on this lap already. You can see he's leading that big pack from about 5th or 6th on back now. About a second or so back to 5th position of Isaac Nolan, but still an impressive run from him so far. And now as they come down the front straightaway, A.J. Stoner continues to lead this race. And then behind him, it is Tucker Treve and Jacob Majeski in second and third, a second a lap off the pace of what Stoner is doing. Then Isaac Nolan and Christopher Yahtzee as well off the pace. So it truly seems like A.J. Stoner is in a league of his own so far through 2 laps aboard the AMAX machine.
He certainly is. That Ajax machine is all wound up, ready to go for racing action here at the Autobahn Country Club as the field continues to work their way down out of turn 6 and 7 through the hairpin of turn number 9 as the field jockeys for position here. They're going to come their way down towards turn number 10. And as they do so, we're going to watch the battle for second place between drivers such as Tucker Treve and Jacob Majeski as they work their way down towards turn 11. Drivers now making it into the braking zone. Tucker Treve now trying to see if he can maintain and keep Jacob Majeski behind him as they work their way through turn 13 and 14.
Yeah, A.J. Stoner so far putting on a clinic so far, but we can see now Tucker Treve is coming under fire from Jacob Majeski again in second position. Then behind him, Isaac Nolan, who yesterday had an unfortunate end to his race, is in the 4th position, and he's got Christopher Yahtzee helping him along as well. Cameron Marcia in 6th just went purple with a 55.686 on lap 3. He's now running in the 6th position, but he's the second off of Christopher Yahtzee and 4.4 seconds off the lead. He's going to need a lot more than that to be able to get all the way up to A.J. Stoner, who is just in a league of his own right now. But meanwhile, in second and third, Majeski continues to work with Tucker Treve. They're not as fast as some of the carts around them, but they're continuing to try to work together to see if they have any shot at Stoner, or at a minimum holding their position throughout this race.
As we watch on here, here's the past 4 position as we see Majeski get to the inside as they look at each other, give a wave of a hand to each other as Tucker Treve now falls back to P3. Now will these two start working together now as they have about a second advantage over Isaac Nolan in 4th position. Christopher Yahtzee is also in 5th position. Cameron Marcia still holds on to the 6th spot as they come across the line here. Marcia, though, your fastest car out on the track, a 55.490. As they climb the hill up to turn 3, your top 6 separated by... I would say close, or your top second on to 6 is separated by just about 2 seconds.
Yeah, Cameron Marsh is absolutely flying here. 55.4 went purple by 0.3 of a second. A.J. Stoner's got the rest of the field covered, but Marcia has A.J. Stoner covered. So it's going to be interesting to watch how this unfolds as now Marcia pulls up to the back of that 5-car group or 4-car group. Just a lap or 2 ago, it was a second gap. Now he's right on them. And as they come down into turn 11, you can see the 4th and 5th guys of Isaac Nolan and Christopher Yahtzee have already caught Jacob Majeski and Tucker Treve. Again, that past last lap really kind of held them back. But now as they come on to complete lap number 5, you can't even see A.J. Stoner in the shot. He is out for a beautiful race here in the Microsoft category. A 56.0 for them this time around. Not great, but still way faster than what 2nd and 3rd are running. And now, as you can see, that whole group is now consolidated right back together with Marcia at the tail of it, and it's being led by Jacob Majeski.
Currently, your biggest mover is Isaac Nolan, who's picked up 4 spots. Tucker Treve also picking up 3 as there you go to the inside. Let's see, who was that who made that beautiful pass right there? I believe that was the 58 machine, who might have moved up a couple of spots. And as we work their way through, we're going to keep an eye on, of course, this battle as Jacob Majeski has pulled away just a little bit from the rest of the field as they make their way down towards the back half of the course. And as they approach over towards turn 11, everyone just trying to jockey for positions, trying to set themselves up for a good run as they continue on. But A.J. Stoner just all by himself, no pressure whatsoever from behind as they work their way across the start-finish line here. Currently, he just had a 55.88, so let's see what he does. He's got a 3.3 second lead over Jacob Majeski. And, of course, for Cameron Marcia, he is right there at the tail end of this pack, trying to just bide his time, waiting, but he's got to go now if he wants to have a shot for a podium or the win.
And we just saw him get 2 carts in 1 go in turn 3 there, so a nice move from Marcia. Very efficient. He's up to 4th place now, behind only Isaac Nolan and Jacob Majeski. If you recall yesterday, they were in this exact order when Majeski and Nolan crashed in turn 1, and that allowed Marcia to get up to 2nd before ultimately passing A.J. Stoner for the lead. Now, though, Cameron Marcia with a sensational move earlier on this lap to get himself up to 4th. He knows he still has a little friend shot at getting up to A.J. Stoner, but it will require him to get through these 2 carts very fast. And now you can see as they come through the skid pad section up towards turn 13 and 14, Nolan has lost Jacob Majeski on this lap, and so now Marcia has to make it work as now A.J. Stoner clicks off another lap. Then Majeski, a new personal best. The Cameron Marcia down the inside for P3. He's got it. And now Marcia sets his sights on Jacob Majeski for the 2nd position.
Climbing up the hill towards turn number 3, Majewski now has to deal with the hard charger of Cameron Marcia. Out of turn 4, 5, and 6. There you see A.J. Stoner coming out of turn number 5 and 6. And now we see Majewski under immense pressure from Cameron Marcia. He is closing in and really picking up the pace as they work their way through a 55.82 for Cameron Marcia. So he is really pounding the pavement to make sure he can come out on top and make sure he can try to find a way to go and challenge A.J. Stoner for this race win here as they head down into turn 11 and as they work their way through turns 12 and 13. Marcia going to try to get that toe he needs from Jacob Majewski, and as they work out of turn number 14, he's going to get the big run down the front straightaway. Not close enough to make anything work this time. But as they work their way through, he'll go to the outside by the looks of it. He'll try to get that second place away. Not going to work that time. He stays tucked up in third.
Yeah, so Marcia continues to stay right behind Jacob Majewski, but there's only a matter of time of 55.5. That last lap around pulled off half a second from both Jacob Majewski and A.J. Stoner. So again, at this rate, he's going to come up just a little bit short from Stoner. He's going to need something special here in these last few laps to be able to close down that gap. But at a minimum, he can get up to second here at the end of this lap, and that will be critical on his run through the field now. You can see the battle for fourth on back between Isaac Nolan, Tucker Trebe, and Christopher Yalsey. It looks like he has made up a single spot. No, he's still stuck in sixth. So those three are still battling it out. But in the meantime, Stoner has a big lead over Majewski, and Cameron Marcia trying to find himself up into second position. I don't know if it's possible for him to get up into the lead, but he can try his hardest to get there as they come through to finish lap number 9. Stoner, a new 55.9. Marcia up into second. He's got the position into P2, and now he'll have 5 laps to try to chase down A.J. Stoner. It's a 3.5 second gap. Can he get it done? We'll have to see, but it's going to be entertaining to watch.
I'm pretty sure Cameron Marcia is out there having a ton of fun as he now moves up to P2. 5 spots gained. He's got 1 more to go for the race lead as A.J. Stoner now currently, mark this now here, with 5 laps to go. 3.5 seconds. Let's see how close Cameron Marcia can go and get to the back bumper of A.J. Stoner here before these 5 laps are over. As they work their way down towards turn number 10 and head to the short chute of turn 11, Marcia now stretching his gap over Jacob Majewski. And a little further back, the battle for P4 between Isaac Nolan, Tucker Trebe, and Christopher Yalsey is still remaining strong as they work their way out of turn number 14. And across the front straightaway, they will go. 4 laps to go for A.J. Stoner. Let's take a look at timing and scoring. How close is the gap between him and Marcia? 3.4 seconds. So he picked up a 10th on his competitor. Not enough, though, to make anything work.
Yeah, not enough to make anything work, although Jacob Majewski's done a nice job of staying in the tire tracks of Cameron Marcia. Maybe Marcia burnt through the tires a little bit too quickly, but Stoner continues to run consistent laps at the front of the field. To his credit, A.J. Stoner has been in control of this entire race. He pulled out a 1.9 second gap through the first 3 laps and has just only extended it. Then Cameron Marcia got up into second, and it has not affected Stoner whatsoever. He might not even be aware of it, but certainly a strong effort for both Stoner and for Marcia. Majewski's doing a nice job hanging on, and then you've got the battle from 4th through 6th. Again, Tucker Trebe, Isaac Nolan, and Christopher Yalsey. We've seen them battling pretty much this whole race. Yalsey trying to hang on to the back of those 4th and 5th guys. You can see Isaac Nolan, a nice rebound effort after yesterday's crash. And now as they head down to get to 3 laps to go, we'll see again the timing and scoring. Stoner, a 55.7. Marcia, 55.6, gains 1/10 of a second. And Jacob Majewski continues to run a 55.7.
3 laps to go, 3.3 seconds back from the race lead. It could be a good time maybe, but he's still got a lot of work to do. But looking at the time, of course, it's still not enough maybe to make it work. Cameron Marcia, though, as they work their way through, Stoner did run his personal best, but it was nowhere near the personal best that Cameron Marcia ran earlier on lap number 4 as the field works their way down towards turn 7-8. As we watch on a little further back, that's the 33 machine of Christopher Yalsey battling with Isaac Nolan in the 95 as they come out of turn number 10, watching these two battle for position. It's been a good one to watch between these two competitors as Christopher Yalsey worked his way through. And as they work their way down into turn 12 and 13, Christopher trying to make sure he can hold off Isaac can hold off Christopher as they come down across the front straightaway. They're going to get the signal. 2 laps to go.
Yeah, strong effort here by Christopher Yalsey. His speed has been very good so far in this race, and you can see that it looks like Cameron Marcia is not going to be able to get anywhere close to A.J. Stoner. He pulled off another 3/10 on that lap, but still 3 seconds behind the 12th for A.J. Stoner. This has been a good weekend for Stoner. He finished second both races yesterday, Today he had a rough day in Briggs, but certainly in the Microswift looks very good. And now we can see the battle for 4th on back again, full of guys who've had strong efforts. Tucker Trebe from 6th on the grid to 4th. Isaac Nolan recovering from a crash yesterday. Christopher Yaltzi has more pace than he did yesterday. Then through the rest of the top 10, Holden Harder, Slayton Baldock, Adriana Rowe, and Callahan Myers all in that top 10. Rowe again a solid effort. Callahan Myers with the best effort for him all weekend. And for Harder, maybe a little bit disappointing after starting 3rd, but still a strong effort in 7th as they come down to get the white flag with a comfortable lead for A.J. Stoner.
A.J. Stoner now coming to take the white flag as we watch on. Tucker Trebe in a battle for position as well with the rest of the field as Isaac Nolan as they head into turns 1 and 2. As they work their way through, a couple of carts trying to battle and jockey for position here in the closing stages. But for A.J. Stoner, he's actually catching up to lap traffic towards the back half of the field as they work their way down towards the final few corners into the braking zone of turn number 9. Of course, for Cameron Marcia, he was able to pick it up to a 2.9 second gap between him, but he's not going to be able to make anything work. He will have to finish in 2nd place. Jacob Majeski in 3rd, but for A.J. Stoner into the braking zone of turn 11 for the final time as he works his way through nice, smooth, competitive run out of turn 13 and 14. A.J. Stoner in the number 12 in that all-white machine will come across the line. Checkered flag in the air for A.J. Stoner. And Cameron Marcia will come home in 2nd place. Jacob Majeski in 3rd. How about Tucker Trebe in 4th? Christopher Yaltzi in 5th position. Isaac Nolan in 6th. Holden Harder 7th. Slayton Baldock in the 8th position. As we wait for the rest of the field in 9th and 10th, it will go to... Looks like Adriana Rowe will come home in 9th position, and Pearson Golseth will round out your top 10.
Wow, an insane race for Pearson Golseth there to be able to crack into the top 10. Strong running for that guy as well. So rounding out your top 10, a strong effort for all of those Microswift competitors. But A.J. Stoner ends the season off. His first win in Microswift at the Route 66 Sprint Series. He's had pace all year, but now he has a main event victory to show for it. So as we head into the end of the season, a strong effort for Cameron Marshall, winning 6 out of the 8 races. Only 2 that he didn't win. He started at the back of the grid for both of them. So Marcia, a strong effort. Majeski had a good season, and really this class put on some outstanding racing by Microswift, presented by QuickSwim.
With that, we're going to take a quick commercial break, but when we come back, it's time for some of our 2 biggest series here. Of course, it is the KA 100 Juniors, presented by Advanced Design Studios. Next on the track, you're watching coverage from the Route 66 Sprint Series on Kart Chaser.
Looking for a top-level team environment that fits your budget? Look no further than AMAX Racing. We cater to customers around the country who want driver coaching, tuning assistance, hospitality, track support, and a family race environment. Our race schedule is support available at all levels, from club and regional series across the Midwest to top-tier events such as the TKNA Grand Nationals, the U.S. Pro Kart Series, and the Scooter Pro Tour. Whatever level you may be at or want to get to, AMAX Racing can get you there.
I'm Billy Vincent, owner of MPG Motorsports. What we do at MPG is we try to keep it a nice, fun family atmosphere, try to combine sort of the bigger things and of the bigger teams and the professionalism down with sort of some of the fun sort of family-oriented atmosphere. We try to not only develop drivers, but also the parents and the families for just in knowledge in general in motorsports. It all starts in karting. What we try to do is try to help the drivers, the moms, the dads understand the sport of motorsports in general, not just karting, but what it takes to get all the way up through. Whether you end up wanting to be a driver or a mechanic or an engineer, you know, we can help you with that, and that's what we're here for. If you're interested in joining us at MPG, our home base is at Whiteland Raceway Park in Indianapolis, and you can contact us at info@willpowerkart.com, and one of our great people will reach out to you, and we'll try to put the best program together.
Odenthal Racing Products, your #1 producer in engine mounts since 1992, along with our leading-edge designs and product development, such as the Odenthal Racing Products EasyGP camera mount, which comes in 4 different styles and can be used on any karting platform. See our products online. Go to odenthalracing.com.
2022 Route 66 Sprint Series from the beautiful Autobahn Country Club. It's time for the IAME KA 100 Juniors presented by Advanced Design. Austin Olds and Lucas Klimek will lead them to the green flag, and not a good start. So we'll go through the rest of the field. It's going to be Braden Zervez in the third position. And, of course, it is going to be none other than Cameron Brigman, who will be in fourth, Quentin McPherson in fifth, Cash Perkins in sixth, Charlie Steins in the seventh position. Eighth is Jackson Wolney and Clayton Siffler in ninth position. Michael Levitt rounds out your top 10.
Running through the rest of the grid, we have Henry Wheeler in 11th, a disappointing pre-final for him. John Mufamonte in 12th position. Ava Dobson in 13th. Jocelyn Slinkler is in 14th, and the only person not to finish the pre-final rounding out your field is Cami Fisher, as we get set to go for an exciting KA Junior final here.
It certainly is there, Emery, as we watch on. The flagman letting them know, hey, let's try to get this start going so we can go green flag racing for 14 laps around the 9/10 of a mile. Autobahn Country Club, green flag is out as we're underway here for your KA 100 Juniors as they head down into turn one. Austin Old and, of course, Lemke are going to Klimek are going to battle for position here as they climb up the hill. One cart hard into the barrier. That's the 871 machine who is into the barrier. That's Gian Bufamonte. He is out of the race with a tough break right there as they go back up to the front of the field. It is still going to be Austin Old, your race leader, as they head down into turn 4 and 5. And then meanwhile, a little further, Lucas Klimek holds on in second place.
Yeah, so a strong start for Austin Olds. Again, he is mathematically still alive for the championship, but he will need a lot of help in this race. And at this point, if you're him, you just got to focus on getting himself as good of a finish as possible now. As you can see now, Cameron Brinkman to the inside for P3 into Ava Hansen entry. He is now into third place, though. He overshoots it a little bit, stays ahead of Braden Zerves, though, and now coming down into the final corner, you can see Brinkman's already worked himself clear of the rest of the pack, and it's just Austin Olds and Lucas Klimek up ahead. Olds with a nice lead to start lap number 1 and continue on to lap 2, and the rest of the field follows behind with Lucas Klimek, and then you've got Cameron Brinkman, Braden Zerves, and Quentin McPherson rounding out your top 5.
Making their way out of turn 4 and 5 there, you see Austin Olds and Klimek and Brigman leading the charge, your top 3 as they come out of turn 5 and 6 as they work their way through turn number 7 and the chicane of turn number 8. Everyone hopping over the curbs a little bit there as they make their way through. A little bit of a slide for Klimek as he tries to hold on for second place, but here comes Brigman with a head of steam out of turn number 10, down the short chute towards turn 11, and as that now happens, Austin Olds just has to stay up in front of the field to maintain the race lead as Klimek and, of course, Brigman work their way out of turn 12 and 13.
You see a nice lap there for Lucas Klimek. He is pulled all the way up to the rear bumper of Austin Olds as they head down the front straightaway to complete another lap. Lap number 2 in the books. Klimek at 53.4. Cameron Brinkman, though, 2 tenths quicker than him, 5 tenths quicker than Olds. He's right on the bumper. He's going to the inside. He makes the move into turn 3. Move Cameron Brinkman to second. Again, remember, he spun from last on the grid at the start of the pre-final. Now he's all the way up in second in the final with Austin Olds right in front of him. This has been sensational stuff all weekend long from Cameron Brinkman, subbing in for Ava Hansen, and now only 2 laps into the final on lap 3, he has the lead within his grasp.
Yeah, of course, Dobson is still in the race. Hansen is unfortunately not in the race, but of course, Ava Dobson is running in the 10th position, so not a bad run for her after gaining 3 spots. So we'll go back up those to the front of the field as Brigman is now back up towards the front of the field through turns 12 and 13. And as they come out of turn number 14, will Brigman try to send it on into the inside. He then now looks to the inside, side-by-side battle for the race lead, and Brigman moves up. A big shove right there for Austin Olds as he'll push him up the track. Not going to be able to make him work as Brigman maintains strong and takes over the race lead.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of an aggressive move out of frustration there for Austin Olds as he went defensive and Brinkman just motored right by him all the way around the outside. Really good top-end power there for Cameron Brinkman. Able to clear him coming into turn 1. That was interesting stuff there. But now Olds is going to have to regroup and focus in that second position, trying to make up as much time as he can to stay on Cameron Brinkman. We have not seen anyone be able to do it all weekend. In fact, the closest anyone came really was Cash Perkins in the pre-final earlier. But really, it's just been Brinkman able to drive away from anyone he passes, and this looks to be no different now as they come towards the end of lap number 4. Brinkman with about a 2-car length lead over Olds. Then it's Lucas Klimek. Big gap back to Quentin McPherson and Cash Perkins rounding out your top 5 as Brinkman leads his first lap of this final.
The question now is, if Austin Olds gets back to the back bumper of Brigman, how aggressive is Olds going to be in order to try and go for this race win here? He's got to first catch him, though, but Once he does that, it's going to be exciting to see that if that comes to fruition here in these closing stages here. 10 laps left to go in the race as they work down the short chute towards turn number 7. Brigman still not actually pulling away, but still maintaining a decent pace. It's about 0.3 of a second separating first and second. Climax still keeping pace as well, and then they have about a 1.2 second lead over Quentin McPherson.
Yeah, I mean, Brinkman has driven completely good all weekend long, really hasn't made that many mistakes, and he looks like a very composed driver, like a driver that has won on the national scene, like we've already seen this year up at Road America. And as he comes around to complete lap number 5, he looks to have increased the gap just a little bit more on this lap on Austin Olds. It's not by much. Olds continues to run within about a tenth or so, so strong effort from Austin. He goes a little bit wide in turn 1, but Cameron Brinkman just continues to have that pace. Now, if Olds does eventually get back up to him, I would expect Olds to race him very aggressively. When you know you have an inferior situation compared to what Cameron Brinkman has, that will ratchet up the aggressiveness level quite a bit, especially when there might be a championship on the line if everything goes right. So for Austin Olds, this is all about trying to establish himself. For Cameron Brinkman, this is about just running as smooth as race as can and not letting that come to fruition.
Certainly is the case here as we watch on the field of competitors make their way up through the field, as we watch on Brigman now pulling out by a little over half a second now as they come out of turn number 11. Old and Climax still jockeying for second place, and then of course Quentin McPherson, Cash Perkins, Jackson Wolney, Henry Wheeler, Braden Zervez is now your top 8. Those 4 drivers jockeying for position a little further back there. You see coming across the start-finish line being led as McPherson and Perkins now work together to try to see what they can do to go catch up to Climax and Olds.
Yeah, again, Austin Olds not running that bad of a lap time. A 52.8 is clear of pretty much anyone else on the field, but Cameron Brinkman just has that little bit of extra pace that no one else here has, and that is super impressive for Brinkman, and it's super disappointing for the rest of the field. And now you can see as lap number 7, as you're coming up to complete lap number 6, get to lap number 7 and get to the halfway point, you're going to see just how much the fighting will intensify in that 4 through 6 battle. You can see Quentin McPherson right ahead of Cash Perkins. He's got Jackson Wolney for company as well. Perkins looking down the inside into turn 11. Yesterday he finished second on the track, had a bumper penalties. Now you see Quentin McPherson against Jackson Wolney trying to make something happen, cannot do it, and now that gives Perkins a little bit of breathing room as he hits the curb coming through the final corner. That'll lose a little bit of momentum for him, but Quentin McPherson right down to 5th position, move Cash Perkins up another spot to 4th as Cameron Brinkman up at the front continues to set purple lap after purple lap and pull out another 2.5 tenths to Austin Olds.
Another big mover on the track is Henry Wheeler, who's now moved up to P7 right now after gaining 4 spots. And as we watch on this battle here for second place between Climax and Austin Olds now, they work their way through the chicane. Ooh, a big bobble right there by Austin Olds. He slides it up the racetrack, does not be able to, though, hold off Lucas Climax, though. He will maintain that position as Cash Perkins leads the charge a little further back as they work their way out of turn number 10, down the short chute towards turn 11 and 12. And it looks like it's still going to be Perkins who will maintain that spot. But Climax now going to have to see if he can try to hold off and make sure, because Perkins and McPherson are really starting to come up quickly.
Yeah, you can see now Aaron Hockmeister giving Austin Olds a signal to slow down his hands a little bit. You can see he's maybe going a little bit over driving mode. He knows that Brinkman is slowly pulling away from what Olds can do, about 0.2 of a second there. And now as they come through turn 4, you can see the gap between Olds and Climax is just not much at all. Meanwhile, behind them, Cash Perkins to the new personal best. He is running a very fast pace in 4th position. Probably not enough to catch them as he's only matching them, but still able to pull away from Quentin McPherson and Jackson Wolney. And he's the fastest car on track outside of your top 3.
It's another tough break for another competitor out on the track. Cami Pfister will not finish. She will DNF here today, finishing in 14th. Tough break for her as she's parked out over there outside of turn number 3. But as we go back up to the front of the field, we're going to watch on and see that number 850 machine leading the charge as Austin Olds trying to see what he can do to close up to to Cameron Brinkman as they work their way down across the front straightaway. And as they send it down into turn 1, it looks like Cash Perkins is really trying to maintain and pull away with Quentin McPherson.
Yeah, Cash Perkins continuing to run pretty fast laps, but now McPherson's pulled it up a notch and done a 52.5. 10th and a half clear what Perkins did that last lap. And now you can see Henry Wheeler has gone by Jackson Wolney for 6th position on track on that last lap. Braden Zerves is in that top 8 as well. So really, that battle for 4th through 8th is really enthralling. I don't think they're going to be able to catch Lucas Climax or Austin Olds, but still, some valuable points, some valuable pride to be gained over the course of these next 4.5 laps here. As you can see, Olds continuing to fight the wheel through the rough section. He is giving it all he has, but unfortunately, Cameron Brinkman just has that little bit more now as they come down the front straightaway. Brinkman clicks off another lap and goes purple yet again, a 52.342, another 0.3 over Olds. But now, for the first time all race, someone else is faster than Brinkman, and it's Henry Wheeler from 6th position, a 52.302, resets fast time. He might not have a chance at a podium or a win, but it still is impressive to see that sort of pace from the 802 MPG Motorsports entry.
All right, if they break into the 51s, we got to give out the ice cream award for them as drivers.
I don't think that's happening.
I don't think so either, but hey, if it does work out, that definitely deserves an ice cream, I will say. But of course, for Henry Wheeler, he's currently setting the fastest lap and trying to close the gap to move into the top 5 here for the first time here tonight as they work their way down to back straightaway, heading into turn 11. We're going to watch them work their way through as they come to 4 laps to go for these drivers here, and as they continue out of turn 13 and 14. They're going to continue to log laps here now, make it 3 laps to go for your race leader of Cameron Brigman as they head down into turn 1. And across the line, Austin Olds still holds on in a 52.236 for Brigman.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I spoke a little bit too soon about the ice cream, but regardless, Cameron Brinkman, I mean, what can you say about his pace? He is pulling 0.3 a lap to Austin Olds, and Austin Olds is a very good driver. So this is down to the setup being great for him between himself and Michael Geringer. They've been perfectly in sync, down to Brinkman improving as a driver, and you're seeing the results play out on track as he continues to help out with Ava Hansen's championship efforts now as they come down to the final 2.5 laps of this KA 100 junior season. Now, you can see the battle for 5th. Henry Wheeler getting by Quinn McPherson into turn 11. Jackson Wolney right behind them for company there. Wheeler's been on a charge late in this race. He's shown the most raw pace out of anyone in that midfield pack. As you can see, another lap pulled off for Cameron Brinkman. 2 to go this time around. Another 0.3 pulled out on Austin Olds as now coming into turn 1. McPherson passes Wheeler back. These two are racing each other and allowing Cash Perkins to go way off in the distance as Wheeler gets himself back into P5 coming through turn 3. So a nice effort for Henry Wheeler, but he's lost a little bit of ground to Cash Perkins now.
Cash Perkins now holding on in that 4th position as he works his way through the field and as they continue to work their way over towards turn number 7 and 8. Meanwhile, Cameron Brigman is already coming out towards turn number 11 at this time, but really great racing action here for your KA 100 junior category presented by Advanced Design Studios. And as they work their way out of turn number 13 and 14, white flag is a big off right there by one of your competitors. That's the 879 machine who goes off the course. That's Quinton McPherson who will fall back multiple spots. White flag in the air, though, for Cameron Brigman as they come across the line here, a 52.174 for, of course, Cameron Brigman. And as they work their way through and as they come up to the top of the hill, they're going to really start putting the pressure down and work their way out of turn number 5 and 6. Cameron Brigman making sure he can maintain this race lead as well as Austin Olds trying to hold on to 2nd place. But for Lucas Climack, he's going to stay tucked up in 3rd, and it's a gaggle of cars outside the top 5 as we see Quinton McPherson hold on the 6th spot and fall back a little bit further as they work their way out of turn 13 and 14. And, of course, heading down the short chute towards turn 12. It is going to be Cameron Brigman sweeping the weekend. He had a tough, easy go at it yesterday, but a tough break here today. But he climbs up to the top and captures the flag. Cameron Brigman, your race winner for your KA 100 junior category presented by Advanced Designs.
Yeah, Cameron Brinkman, another sensational race in lieu of Ava Hansen, who again had the unfortunate injury for herself prior to this race weekend. So Ava Hansen unofficially will win the championship in KA 100 Junior, obviously pending results and everything, but certainly Austin Olds finishing 2nd, and I believe 2nd in the championship. Lucas Climack rounds out the season with a nice podium. Cash Perkins in 4th, and Henry Wheeler rounds out your top 5. A great effort from all of your KA Junior competitors as we continue on to our final race of the 2022 Route 66 season. And now rolling through the rest of the top 10, we have Braden Zerves in 6th, Jackson Wolney in 7th, Ava Dobson 8th, Charlie Steins in 9th, and Quinn McPherson with the off on the last couple laps rounds out your top 10 with Michael Levitt, Clayton Slafer, Jocelyn Slinker, and Cammie Fisher rounding out your field.
With that, we are going to take a quick commercial break, but when we come back, it's the final race of the day. It is the Miami KA 100 Masters presented by Franklin Douglas, coming up next on Kart Chaser.
How you doing? My name is Mike Doty from Mike Doty Racing from Orange County, New York. We're about an hour north of New York City. We're a full-service kart shop that we supply IAME, Rotax, and all rock engines. We sell OTK parts and all the tires for all the different series. We support USPKS, SCUSA, Rotax, which is the Stars and Stripes, and the Rock Winter Tour. What we do is we try to get the drivers better by data, driver coaching, and setup. We have a lot of good drivers that come through our program. We have a lot of experience. I've been doing it for almost 35 years, and we just try to translate that to all our customers.
For more info about Mike Doty Racing, you can contact us at mikedotyracing@gmail.com or call us at 845-551-0572.
Route 66 Sprint Series. Of course, we are here live from the Autobahn Country Club for our final race of the afternoon, the KA 100 Masters presented by Franklin Douglas. Visit franklin-douglas.com for more information. It's Laurentio Mardan on the front row with Randy Klimek in second, Christian Vormier in third with Jeff Bays in fourth. Roman Pandas is in the fifth position, and Chris Serdanek rounds out your six-car field as they work their way around the circuit and get ready to go for the final race of the weekend, the final race of the season, as we cap it off with the KA Masters and get ready to go racing here for 14 laps. Flagman looking over the field to see if we're going to be good to go racing as they enter into the start box. Green flag is out. We're underway here at the Autobahn.
Already a nice start for Laurentio Mardan. He brings along Christian Vormier with him into the second place. It's Technokart 1-2. We've already seen this a lot this weekend. The two Technos working together on the opening laps, and then Mardan eventually pulling away into the race lead. We'll see if that's the case again this time around as Mardan comes through the bowl, through 7 and 8. You see a little bit of jockeying for position back in P3. Randy Klimek continuing to hold on to third place now. As you can see, Mardan pulling a little bit of a gap to Christian Vormier already through the back half of the lap now. Heading up into the skid pad section is still Mardan up ahead of Vormier, about 2 to 3 kart lengths there. Then you've got a gap back to Randy Klimek. Roman Padan's right on his bumper. A rough pre-final for him, spun out all on his own. Hopefully in the final it goes a little bit better for him so he can get up there and be in contention for that podium. But now as he comes down the main straight, you can see Laurentio Mardan already 4 kart lengths ahead of his teammate Christian Vormier. Then back there it is now Padan's and Klimek going at it into turn 3. Looks like Klimek's been able to keep that position, and now again continuing on with Mardan in the lead by about 5 kart lengths now as he continues to extend the gap.
Continuing to work their way through. Of course, Mardan just picking up where he's left off all weekend long. He's got some of the fastest laps. He's got some of the, of course, wins and all the pre-finals. And, of course, looks like he's going to sweep the weekend again here with the finals as his teammate Vormier moves up to P2. Klimek still stays in third position as they work their way down over towards turn number 11 into the short chute. As we do have 5 karts out on the track, we do not have Chris Serdanek, who is in 6th. He will not finish this race, so no participation from him this weekend at all on the final day of competition. As he works his way out of the final corner across the start-finish line, and we're going to see some action here, hopefully in second, between Vormier, Klimek, and Pandaz, who are in the 4th position.
Yeah, already you can see purple lap time Laurentio Mardan. Another news water is wet here in the KA Masters field. Beyond that, you've got Randy Klimek running a 53.5. He was the second quickest on the track. He was able to pull in about 3/5 of a second on Christian Vormier. And we'll have to see if he's going to be willing to make a move early on again. If he wants any chance to compete for the win, which I'm not sure if he has the pace to do so, he's going to have to get through Vormier pretty quickly because Vormier is struggling for pace early on in this race. And Roman Padan staying right up there as well in the 4th position with Jeff Hayes not too far behind.
Great overall action this weekend here as we get ready to close it out with the final race this weekend. As, of course, Laurentio Mardan leads the charge here as they come out of the final corner. He's going to come by in about 3, 2, 1 across the start-finish line. He'll go. And as he makes his way around his teammate Christian Vormier, and a 53.275 in other news. So for him, let's see if he can finally break into the 52s. We've been waiting all weekend for that. He gets right up to about the O's and then just stops.
Yeah, I'm starting to worry that I might have to be giving out some ice cream here. Not going to lie. He's through 3 laps, and he's already at a 53.2. Again, with the natural progression of tire pressure here, you'd expect to pick up upwards of 6 or 7 tenths over the course of a race. And you can see Mardan's already putting down a consistent lap time here. You can see Climax made a mistake on this lap, clearly, as he's fallen all the way behind Roman Padans into the 4th position. Jeff Bays is now attacking Climax, putting him under fire for that 4th spot. But yeah, I mean, again, Mardan just continues to extend the gap. It's 1.5 seconds now. Back to Christian Vormier. Roman Padans in 3rd now after a mistake from Climax is now, you can see, coming back up to the start-finish line. What's this one going to be? It's a 53.05 for Lorenzo Mardan. 5/100ths away from the 52-second bracket as he pulls out another 4/10 of a second on his teammate.
Can he do it? That's going to be the question everyone is looking for. Can he break the 52s? We're going to find out here. I bet he was just doing this just to build the anticipation, because we know exciting how well of a driver he is, and he just wants to tease us just a little bit longer.
Yeah, I think at this point, I mean, Laurencio's got so much pace in that kart, and he's been able to build it so quickly. I mean, look, I don't know what kind of ice cream he likes, if he likes ice cream or whatever, but he's going to get it after this race at this rate.
Certainly is here, as we're going to see what he can do as they work their way down out of turn 12 and 13. And he continues to stretch out that lead by about 1.7 seconds over the field. And as they work their way out of turn 14, he's going to see what he can do as he comes across the line. And 53.31. No, he's going to keep toying with us this entire race. I can already tell you that. We're going to wait to the last lap before we find out if he can do it. And as he works his way up to the top of the hill, heading down into turn 3 and 4, his teammate Christian Vormier is under pressure from Roman Pandaz as they work their way out of turn 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah, it looks like Padans has picked up a lot of pace there, and he's able to find himself in the battle for that 2nd position there. Only about 2.4 seconds off of what Mardan is able to do, but certainly on a lap time basis, Padans has found quite a bit of raw speed. And I don't know if it's what happened in the pre-final, but it certainly wasn't there then. Obviously had the spin, had a little bit of an issue in terms of raw pace in that one, and now he's able to catch up to Christian Vormier. Only about 2 or 3 car lengths back as they come through the skid pad section. But yeah, they're both over 2 seconds behind Lorenzo Mardan, who continues to put down another solid lap. We'll see what this lap number 6 is going to be. Is it finally into the 52s? It is a 52.955 for Lorenzo Mardan. It took upwards of 40 racing laps this whole weekend, but after that, he has gotten into the 52-second bracket, and it looks like I'm going to have to find some ice cream to get, as now we see a pass for second and some serious action between Roman Padans passing Christian Vormier and putting his Merlin up into the 2nd position.
I knew he wasn't going to keep us waiting that long. I mean, it would have been kind of anticlimactic if he did it on the last lap, so he decided to do it in the middle of the race before we get to halfway. So great on, of course, Lorenzo Mardan as he goes out there to continue logging laps around this circuit, picking up where he's left off all weekend long as he works his way, watching the battle for second between Christian Vormier and Roman Pandaz as they work their way down into turn 11. Roman now stretching it out just a little bit as they come out through turn 13 and 14, and as they come out of turn number 14, and has worked their way through halfway this time by. And Laurencio still keeps it in the 52, so back-to-back on that. Not bad for him as he comes out of turn number 1 and 2, climbing up to turn 3.
What did they say about winning? Once you win the first one, it gets a lot easier after that. Well, I guess you could apply the 52-second bracket to winning, and that's what Lorenzo Mardan is doing right now. Not only is he winning on the track, but he's winning on the timing sheets as well. It's a 3.5-second gap back to Roman Padans, who's your new second-place sitter. Looks like he's struggling a little bit without the reference of Christian Vormier to help him out, and now Vormier is right back on his bumper. Randy Klimak has been closing in pretty fast on these guys as well. He's got a 53.145. He's not too far from the 52-second bracket either, continuing to pump in laps. If he can stay away from the mistakes that have haunted him this season, he might be able to get onto the podium, if not up into the second place and get by Roman Padans. As you can see again through the skid pad section, hitting the curbs. Vormier trying to get everything he can out of that cart as Padans continues to pull a decent-sized gap coming out of the main straight as they click off another lap. 6 laps to go here.
6 laps to go here for Mardan as they work their way through around the circuit. And as we watch on, the battle for the second and third step of the podiums are underway between Pandaz, Vormier, and Klimek as they head down the hill. Jeff Bays comfortably in 5th position. So he will get to have a chance to go and celebrate on the podium celebrations here in a little bit of time as they work their way down over towards turn 6 and 7. And now as they work through turn number 9, Roman still maintains strong lead over Christian Vomier, and Randy Klimek trying to see if he can work his way up onto the podium here.
Yeah, Climax had a lot of pace. He just did a 53.046, so less than a tenth off of the fastest lap of Laurencio Martin. You just cannot seem to put it all together for a string of laps. But now he's right on the bumper of Christian Vormier. As I say that, gets a little bit sideways out of the skid pad section. That will cost him about a tenth or so. And now Laurencio Martin back purple again, a 52.923. He's a 10th clear of the field, as now we can see him just absolutely chilling up at the front. He's got over 4 seconds gap, 5 laps to go. At this point, it's not about if he'll win, it's how much, unless there's some kind of mechanical fault or driver error. But I don't want to jinx him, but he's already getting ice cream. We'll see if he can hold on to get that main event trophy and win in dominating fashion.
I mean, he's going to be already celebrating on the podium, so you'll have to go join me for the KA Masters 100, of course, podium celebration with an ice cream in hand for that as we get ready for that action. Meanwhile, we go back to the action on the track and watch on as we see the battle for second between Pendaz and Vomier, heading down, of course, into turn number 11 as they enter the braking zone of turn 12 and 13, working their way through the corners. They're going to just keep on logging the laps, and as they come out of turn 14, here comes Mardan across the line. It's going to be, of course, 4 laps to go, and he goes to a 52.785, really stepping up the power here. He's almost about to break into the times what we see from our KA 100 junior categories.
Yeah, a lot of quick time here from Laurencio Martin. We've seen in the past the KA Masters can go pretty quick. We saw that Dowsman was about a half-second delta to the senior, but this is a longer track. This is a track with more straight-line speed, where in theory the extra weight on the Masters costs 30 pounds extra, 390 versus 360 pounds. So you should see that difference play into the racing factor, and we've already seen a lot of raw pace difference here. Laurencio Martin pulling 3/10 a lap on the chasing pack. You've got Roman Padan still hanging on in second place. Probably not the fastest kart in that group, but now in third place, though, Randy Klimek looks to have gotten by Christian Vormier on this part of the track. He has gotten himself into the podium places, or at least the traditional podium places, in third. So they come down to complete lap number 11. It's another good lap from Laurencio Martin, pulling another 3/10 out from Roman Padans.
As they work their way up to the top of the hill of turn number 3, Pendaz is currently holding on to second place. Now he's gained 3 spots. He is your biggest mover and only mover of the race as they work their way through. Coming up on now 2 laps to go for Martin, who leads the charge now over 4.8 seconds. Could it be a 5-second lead before the end of the race? Most likely looking to be so as they work their way heading down into turn 11.
Yeah, this is at this point just going down to the Laurencio Martin show, seeing how much he can win this race by. You can see the battle for second continues to rage on. Randy Klimek is making some good time on Roman Padans now. He's already recovered out from making a mistake early in the race, flying all the way back about a second back from this group. Now 2 laps to go. It's Laurencio Martin going even faster, a 52.727. He's got it down. And how about Randy Klimek? Another 52 second. He gets in there with a 52.956 as he continues his chase on for Roman Padans.
Laurencio Martin, of course, winning the hearts of us here in the broadcast booth and winning the hearts of those fans out here watching on Kart Chaser as we work our way to our 2 laps to go. And, of course, Laurencio Martin makes his way down towards turn number 10, heading down the short chute through turn number 11. A great, exciting weekend we've had all weekend long to see from each and every single one of these classes as they make their way into 12 and 13 here. And as, of course, Laurencio Martin continues to charge out of turn number 14, he will see the white flag one more time around this beautiful Autobahn Country Club circuit. One more time around here for the Route 66 Sprint Series in 2022. And as they do so, it will be Laurencio Martin who has stretched it out to 5.3 seconds lead over the entire field. A absolute dominant run by Martin as he comes through turn 4, 5, and 6 through turn number 7. And as he enters into turn number 8, he just focused, smooth consistency. As, of course, for Vormier, he's fallen back a spot. Randy Klimek moved up to P3 just a few moments ago as they work their way out of turn number 10. Down across the back straightaway into turn 11 for the final time. He enters into the braking zone for him as he works his way through and continues to set the pace here as he comes through turn 13 and 14. For the final time, the Techno Kart from Arlington Heights of course, Laurencio Martin gets the double checkers and picks up the win here this weekend. And Emery, I think you got to go to the cafe and get some ice cream here.
Yeah, that's going to be my next task here. But Laurencio Martin wraps up a dominant season, won every race he competed in. He'll take the checkered flag, wins the championship for the 2022 KA100 Masters category, sponsored by Franklin Douglas. It's Roman Pedaz and Randy Klimak joining him on the main podium. Christian Vormier, a disappointing run from him in the final, ends up fourth, and Jeff Bays rounds out your guys in the field. Did not see any of Chris Serganik in this final, but still, all in all, an outstanding race for Laurencio Martin, and for the first time all weekend, gets into the 52-second bracket and makes me go pay for some ice cream.
And with that, while Emery goes and gets the ice cream before podium celebrations, we want to say thank you for everyone who tuned in to our coverage this weekend of the 2022 Route 66 Sprint Series, the championship finale from the beautiful Autobahn Country Club here in Joliet, Illinois. And of course, this concludes the championship here for this season. We will be back in 2023 with the Route 66 Series, and we look forward to seeing the action kick off when they announce their schedule. But as we come to a close, we have to say thank you to some amazing partners. Of course, this weekend's race is brought to you by the Holtz Driving Performance School. Go check them out to learn more information, along with B&B Electric. And, of course, Perkins All-Stars, One Power Sports, Millwright Racing, CKT Racing Engines, Quick Swim, D&J International Services, Advanced Design, Wolters Racing Engines, and Franklin Douglas. Of course, visit all of them throughout the weekend to learn more about them. And for that, for myself, Taylor Burris, and for Emery Lida, this has been a coverage presented by Kart Chaser.